Not looking to be supercell, which is a good sign, and that's some good news because a warm front isn't here just yet. So it's basically working off of more energy, what we call shear, changing wind direction as it elevates in the atmosphere. So saying that, I'm not downplaying this at all, but know that this still could produce damage, and it has had a history of trees toppling over, especially farther north in this line. Meriwether, True counties, Harris County under that severe thunderstorm watch too. So right along this line, we're seeing that. So part of the viewing area right now, the reason why you're in a severe thunderstorm warning, and that again is southeast corner of Macon County, Alabama, right along Alabama Highway 29, State Route 29, and eventually this will work its way into northwest Barbour County, just near Clayton, Alabama. So it's moving at a good clip. We're tracking it at the surface analysis. Meteorologist Cody Nichols here at 43. It's a long line in what we call spin-up activity. So you're not seeing this become supercell with hail, but you still can have damaging wind with winds up to 50, maybe 60. Noonan had winds up to 70 miles per hour with some of this line, but we're not seeing this at this juncture based on the velocity scan. That's some good news, but now it's leveling out. But what will happen is, got confirmation, we got some debris, so there is definitely on that next scan coming out of Maxwell. We went from Maxwell, and then we went back from Maxwell. Right now, you can see it's scrolling right now. We need to stay on Maxwell because it's doing the best job. And you could see definitely there's debris here. So that's a debris signature that's coming into play. Now, Banks, Alabama, that's Highway Alabama, State Route 29, State Route 231. This is all just north of Troy in Pike County, moving into Macon County, Alabama. So I know if you're watching, if you're in Union Springs right now, you're okay. Let's pull out a little bit farther and show you where that debris is. We never track from the debris because the debris could be coming up and over from the anvil at another location. But it seems to be mimicking that, at least now from the latest velocity scan. And Catalpa is looking like to be the next line coming into areas around, as I said, the extreme northwest portion of Barbour County and just clipping, I say just clipping areas of extreme southeast Macon County, Alabama. If you're in Eufaula, you're okay, but if you're in Clayton, I definitely would be starting to think, okay, where do I go next? Get in your safe spot, the most interior section of whatever dwelling you're in. Keep enough walls between you and the outside in this particular case. Ox Level, small community in Star Hill, when we get closer to about 11 o'clock hour. So you can see the time, local time right now is 10:41 Central. So it is moving fast. So we're talking within 20 minutes or so this is going to be out. But within 5 minutes or so it's already coming in to the News 3 viewing areas, okay? Up to this point, that confirmation, it looks like that's what we call Doppler indicated confirmation. I don't know if there's eyes on the ground with that, any storm spotters?
No, they submit confirmation because of the...
Okay, so what we're doing, and this is
CC.
Okay, so our technology does a good job with that, no doubt about it.
And now it's kind of broad.
So it's kind of broad, so as the wind, as it lifts up in the atmosphere, the debris is obviously falling down at the surface. The scan is coming just to the north, and you could tell near Maxwell is probably either taking it at too high of a scan at the angle. We're going to go live right now in Barbour County. Now, this is a distance away, but this whole line, even though you're in Eufaula, you still have the potential of seeing some isolated significant winds up to 40 miles per hour, regardless if it's severe or not. The live picture now shows you the flag draped. It's kind of the calm before the storm. This is a live picture as we're shooting westward. Severe weather that is moving in our East Alabama counties for Barbour. And right now you can see our chief photographers out there just picking up a light breeze, but that's soon to change with this impending front coming through and this accelerating winds that is ahead of it. We go to our northern counties around Valley, Northeast Harris County. These are significant winds indeed. There's been a history to the north of this from Meriwether, Pike, Upson, around Coweta County, and around the Noonan area about an hour ago. Actually had numerous trees that toppled over, so we still don't want to take this lightly. If you're in Pine Mountain, meteorologist Nicole Phillips is going to report live up there for us, and she's been on social media. She'll keep us posted there. But the winds are certainly excelling there. And what do we have there, Cody?
Piggybacking off of this, this system actually knocked the National Weather Service in Peachtree City. They're on generator power just because
of the system. And that was because of the 70-mile-per-hour wind. So that exceeds what the normal criteria would be for a severe thunderstorm warning. The bottom line of it, you know, being around 58 to 60 miles an hour, it's pretty high. That's high on the scale. So those are straight line damaging winds from the Atlanta metro all the way back down into the News 3 viewing area to northern parts of Harris County. Although we're not seeing that now, we're just seeing some very heavy rain and strong wind gusts. If you're in southern Harris, you're okay. Northeast areas around Lee County, some heavy wind. Beauregard, I always want to point that out, in Auburn, you guys are going to be probably missing the worst of this. So this is some good news for west central areas of Lee County from Nottawasaga, but you still got some energy behind it, so don't get complacent. If you're watching anywhere until this line's through, think about that safe spot, because the winds with these, it takes 40 miles an hour or even less to knock down a tree. Cody's got some more information.
Well, we're starting to get some damage reports out of areas of Troup County near Buck Murphy Road.
Okay.
This was about maybe 12 minutes ago from emergency management up across parts of LaGrange and Troup County.
And Meriwether County, of course, still has that curfew up through there, and obviously areas if people are staying indoors. So many people watching now, you have to be indoors. You're in there for many reasons, obviously for COVID-19. So paying close attention is important, and a good time to just exercise that. Now, this whole line is going to be through the Columbus area very shortly, and here we are coming up on the noon hour. But the tornadoes have been more present and more enhanced when you get down near Pike County and down in the areas around Coffee County earlier, where we think we actually even had a moment of a supercell. We saw the TVS, or the tornado vortex signature, on that on just radar alone. So we haven't had any reports of significant damage in that area. But farther south is what we've been watching. You heard us say about the warm front. The warm front's necessary because that's just the extra ammunition to elevate these storms. If you have that with the shear and the accelerating winds ahead of it, you've got every reason to suspect some kind of supercell activity. So we're going to be focused on our southern counties, albeit the line itself is also bringing in Boeing echoes, or what we call straight line winds, with some weak spin up rotation or tornadoes. We had that quick spin up out of Pike County. Nothing in areas around Macon County reported yet, or northwest Barbour County. That's some good news, but that line is still coming in, and there's a little bow coming outside of Troy. So if you're in Clio, I would watch for the potential damaging wind for sure as this whole line comes through. It has a brief period of very heavy rain with it, and there's a little rotation. You see, that's another one, and we call that weak spin-up rotation. This is northwest of Banks. This is State Route 29 in Alabama. This area here is what we're looking at. You can see areas around Pike County will be lifting in. There's a little bit of in and outflow towards the radar. So we start watching what colors. You see this green coming, accelerating towards the radar, the speed, and moving away. When we see this kind of almost level out, as Cody calls it, gate to gate, and that's what meteorologists, we look at that for parallel lines here from in and outflow, then you got something that's possibly working on the ground. But right now, this is what we call some weak spin up. There's also a weak spin up trying to form up here as well in the northern portion of this polygon. And it's not a lot of population. If we zoom in here, Logton area and Stills Crossroads, if you're down here in our areas around Hooks Crossroad, you know what I'm talking about this far south. You know how there's those agricultural areas there. So these areas could be watching for maybe possibility of some strong winds there along with that. And as each one of these kink out like this, that's what we're going to see. So if there's anything good to report on this, we're more in a stable sector. Farther south you go, the more enhanced these storms are. In other words, they're piling up in the atmosphere. They're towering up higher, which means they have more strength. And with that more strength, you sometimes get wind damage and hail. And yet, we haven't even tried hail analysis on here, but that's still a good possibility. So again, most of this is being created by forward momentum, a lot of winds. And again, we're still watching that spin up rotation. There was two parts of this here. There's still potential damage to the northern part of this, farther south here, down here in Pike County. And eventually it's moving back into our viewing area. Coffee County seeing severe thunderstorm warnings down there. So here we go. Now the polygon's extended in the news reviewing areas we said it would. So here we are now. It's officially expected to continue because it's moving so fast. If this line wasn't moving so fast.
It's dropped from 55 to 50 miles per hour.
Okay, so it's slowing down, which is not good. So we don't want this line to slow down. I wish it would continue on its fast forward momentum, but it's still moving fast. I don't want to downplay that. But we watch for that, because if it does slow down, we got to watch to see if this could actually have a life of its own, is what we call, it's the kind of mesoscale complex storm where it kind of has a long-lived duration and track. And that was one of the concerns south of Columbus today based on where that warm front is. So it's safe to say where Catalpa is that this is right along Alabama State Route 223. If you're on Alabama State Route 223, and this is coming down outside of Pike, but coming into Macon County and eventually into northwest Barbour. Seek shelter immediately. Keep enough walls between you and outside. There's no doubt circulation here. We had a little debris with it. We call it debris signature. We worked on a correlation coefficient here, and Cody's rewinding it back to see. So there's no doubt this definitely picked up something, whether it was trees or something, and it just dropped everything. And there's still a little bit of a debris signature there that could be up in the atmosphere a little bit. So it still has a lot of momentum with it. It's slowed down just a tad. So we'll put a track on that to see how far away it is in Midway for you guys watching in Midway. So if you're in Midway, Alabama, right now, and you're right along State Route 82, okay, or US 82, pardon me, I got to get my thoughts here. US 82, and we're Alabama State Route 26, kind of to the southeast of there, Mount Andrew, Ox Level, Perote, Clayton, Alabama, which is our extreme northwest portion of Barbour County. This is not Eufaula, but Eufaula, you still are going to see some strong gusty winds south of us just from the line itself. So these areas here, right along State Route 239, you should definitely be seeking shelter immediately. And you can see right now, right here is what we're looking at. It's not your classic strong signature, but there's definitely some weak rotation, and it was already pegged to actually have a little gate to gate, and it actually even brought in some debris. So there's going to be some minor damage likely in some areas there. Cody's got some good information.
National Weather Service just said they are pinging a 73 knot rotational, which equates to about 84 miles per hour.
So that's you're getting in an EF1 almost here. So folks here, we really got to keep in mind. So these are not your, I just want to have perspective, and I never want to, March 3rd versus this. You'll never be able to compare that. But again, take everyone seriously. One tree is all it takes. We were in Randolph County last month with severe storms that toppled on homes, and there were injuries. So you know what I'm talking about. So get in that most structured portion of your home, the most center part, but you're going to be okay, because as we track this, it's going to be moving awfully fast, but it has slowed down just a tad, which that will add a little bit more life to this. As far as its duration, it'll have more time to have a little bit more life and generate some energy with it. What we could do right now, too, as we continue this track Cody's showing us, if you're in a Star Hill, that puts you in Barbour County. If you're in Star Hill, you're in Barbour County now, Mount Andrew. If you're in Macon County, Midway, Union Springs, you're okay right now. If you're in Union Springs, you're good if you're watching. But farther south, right along State Route 223, it's crossing right now, this potential tornado. Whether it's on the ground or not, we believe it has already been a confirmed tornado virtually through our technology and Doppler indicated from some debris. But right now, it is actually moving. It's still a Doppler-indicated tornado, and it continues to march this way towards the north and east along this, what we call a polygon, or this track. So Star Hill, Mount Andrew, Midway, and Clayton, right along State Road 30. So you know that rides west to east in northern Barbour County. So if you're north of that, you should seek shelter immediately. We could go a little bit farther south to that now live, down in Barbour County, which is Eufaula. How does it look farther south? Let's take a peek. Well, you can see right now. You can see the live shot. Severe weather is moving into our northern part of the state, but you can see the strong gusty winds starting to pick up. From the last time we went live, the flag was completely draped down. So you're going to notice the winds picking up here over the next 10 to 15 minutes. Cody.
And southern Barbour County, including parts of Eufaula, Blue Springs, Clio, and Louisville, are all under a severe thunderstorm warning now for 60-mile-per-hour winds. So it's really just on the southern end of this flank is what they've warned ahead for southern Barbour County, although that tornado warning continues to be in effect for parts of northern Barbour County.
It looks like now, Cody, you're getting better circulation. See, this is what this is going to do. It's going to cycle on again, off again. So going right back to where it was, you can see the very heavy precip on the rotation here, right where the arrow's pointed. Let's go a little bit farther south. And now you can start seeing the inflow and outflow almost getting a little bit below and on top. So this is very tightly wound. And again, is it 80-mile-per-hour winds right around that? In that area, specific it is. Let's see how street level we can go as we get into Macon County here. It's very close to leaving Pike County. The Sandfield area around Alabama 223 is in Pike County. Here's what we're looking at, and it's still moving towards the Sandfield right now, and then eventually going into it's leaving Bullitt County, my bad, you're right, and leaving Bullitt County and then going into Barbour County. And once it continues to leave this area, That's what we're going to be watching Barbour County and back up possibly in the areas of Macon. But again, we still see it coming real close to the county line. It's south of Sandfield, and again, it's still got a little mind of its own here. So Cody, with this being said, let's see if we could get an inflow and outflow reading on that. I don't know how good our technology is going to pick up on it now. We're going to get the right radar, but let's just see what we have.
Let's see, near the Sandhill, we're getting about 37 miles per hour, and then just north of the Catalpa area along Alabama 223, we're pinging up about 22 miles per hour. So roughly, let's see, that's about, what's that, about 50, 60?
Yes, away. So there you go. So 60, you're talking almost 60 mile an hour. They're picking up the National Weather Service. I think they might be getting it out of Fort Rucker. Or was that out of Maxwell?
Rucker.
Fort Rucker would have to be. So Fort Rucker's probably giving them close to the 80 at one point. So you know this thing is circulating quite well, Cody.
That's right, and it's really around the Sandfield community in northern Pike County. This is just going to move into the southern tip of Bullock County near US 29 right there. It'll eventually cross those communities of Tanyard, Perot, and what is that, Blues Old Stand before it starts to move into parts of Barbour County. And it's been very transient. It's been sitting down here and there. The rotational couplet tightening up. It's starting to widen out a little bit, but we're going to continue to watch it as it continues to move into parts of Bullock County, eventually Barbour County, and then might even skirt parts of southern Russell County if this continues to hold its strength through the next, let's see, 20, 30 minutes or so, Bob.
It's moving, yeah, and it's still moving at about 50 miles per hour the entire line. So this is moving awfully fast, as you can see. So again, moving out of Alabama State Route 223 and going into parts of Bullock County, and then, as we're saying, will eventually lift a bit farther north and east. And I think it's not, we think, it's going to. The whole line is going to end up moving through Russell and so on and so forth. Taking him up just to a quick journey here to the north, if we widen it, I want to let everyone know who's you could kind of like take a little breather here. We start looking at western portions. There's of course Barbour County here, and there's southern Bullock. We're out of Pike now, so Pike is out of it. But it's really the southern portion of Bullock County and extreme northwest Barbour County, which is going to be clipping that area right around the county line area. Then eventually it works into, probably likely into southern Russell, places like Cottonton. If you're in the Cottonton area, around 431, US 431, I would certainly get in your safe spot. It comes pretty close north of Eufaula, but where it's still, we got a lot of population there. So if you're watching in downtown Eufaula, the historic area, it's all north of you, but you still got these very strong gusty winds that are coming extreme southern Barbour County. So if you're in Tuskegee and Macon County, you're clear. If you're in Tuskegee, most of this is gone, so you're looking good. If you're in Lee County, Alabama, we still got another line of some heavy showers, but the way this is angled and tilted, we don't see anything, no threat right now of anything damaging. But that doesn't mean to get complacent. You should just wait for this to pass completely. But Lee County, give it a little pause, you can rest assured. Chambers County, you're clearing nicely, but if you're in West Point and Valley, you still are watching for strong gusty winds. The accelerating winds ahead of this is extreme north of Shiloh in Harris County, but the severe thunderstorm wind potential still continues when you're in areas of Meriwether County. If you're in Warm Springs, these areas south and east moving towards Pike County, Georgia, not Pike County, Alabama, it should be getting out right through Zebulon and then drape back off towards the south and west. But again, if we look down near Coffee County, they're still seeing some energy down there. I think we're going to do fine once this line passes through until we see it out of Sly and Sumter counties and back farther north in Taylor County, Georgia. Alabama will clear. So you can see the angle of the entire line here. This is the squall line. The front is coming in behind it, and much colder, breezier, gusty conditions by morning will follow. You're going to have some low 40s there. Okay, got another debris signature. We needed to stay on this right now, but until we see anything change in Harris, Macon, because a lot of folks are saying that on social media, what about us? We will go there if there's something life-threatening. But right now, that was just the wrap-up on that. Here's the deal right now. We're looking at areas around Bullock and Barbour County, the northern portion of that. It's showing a debris signature. So this algorithm shows us debris being trees. It could be metal roofs. It could be a lot of different items. Now, based on the 80-mile-per-hour analysis that's around it, from the inflow winds towards radar and outflow, we certainly could deduce to say that this would be roofs being ripped off, possibly. This is how strong this would be. It would definitely take weak trees and pull them right out of the ground. So we need to keep an eye on it. It's very tightly wound. It's still in an area, it's an agriculture area and very wooded through here, but it's moving into some small areas. So if you're in these areas here, please keep in mind that the weather's changing rapidly. The latest scans, they come and go real quick. It's cycling, is still showing us where it's at. So we're right about here. And if you're in a Prody area, the Smut Eye area, we call it the Smut Eye, and this is right along Alabama 239. Those areas there, you really got to be seeking shelter immediately. Between you and the outside, how many walls do you have? You should have as many as you could think of, and maybe a closet or some kind of area like that. So it's a very tightly wound, very small tornado potentially, and likely because we're seeing the debris. So it's a tornado, but we don't have eye to confirm it, how much damage is on the ground right now. So again, Ox Level, Mount Andrew, Midway, these times that you see up through here, as it comes in outside of Barbour and eventually right here, Bullock and into Barbour County, which is to the south, and Bullock being mainly the main course of this, coming through the center part of this. But that whole line is seeing multiple kinks on it. We've seen two, and it seems the one to the north kind of took over. The one earlier down near Pike County, Alabama earlier was to the south. So you're going to see this constant kind of what we call a little weak spin-up rotation, but in this case it's beyond weak. It's a little bit stronger, no doubt about it. Is this considered a long-track tornado? We don't know that until we see the whole history, but it's been moving quite the course now. It was west of Troy, Alabama, and it's already here in Bullock County, so that's why we got to keep an eye on it. Down near Brundage, Cody, it looks like there could be a little bit weak circulation down there as well. Even
they're watching it, but
south, yeah, it doesn't.
Not really tight enough yet.
I think it's none of this is tight, but we got to keep watching it. But this here still has that debris signature. There could be debris in the atmosphere. Should not be outside looking at this because there is flying debris, and that's what injures most people in these events. Toppled trees on homes, that's another one too that you'll be looking at. So this has been pretty much the case with the warm front. It's exactly what they were looking at. So safe to say the warm front hasn't really lifted north of Union Springs, which is right where the intersection of US 29 in Alabama comes right through parts of central Macon County. So that's some of the news there. So you could see the little flashes here. That's the lightning, and that's where that energy lies. There's still some energy to the north from Pine Mountain all the way up through southeast Meriwether County, now moving into Thomaston, Georgia. So if you're watching us at Thomaston, Pine Mountain, Auburn, Opelika, you're clear in the sense of seeing the worst of this now. So that's looking good. And that would include you in Beauregard, too. So if you're in Beauregard, do not go outside. It's still very gusty and windy, but the worst energy of the system is out of your area. It's moving towards Smith Station, but that's not severe, so that's good. The severe potential is exiting out of our northern counties, and we're looking at now focused anywhere from Bullock and Barbour, northern Barbour County for the tornado warning that we actually had confirmation from the radar with debris, which tells us that we had a weak tornado, and surely there'll be some analysis of some of the damage coming up later in the future here. But again, you can see the debris signature here that Cody has it on. This is well south of Union Springs, northeast of Banks, Alabama. And what we're looking at this is, if you're around where 239, this is State Route 239 comes in, it's going to be passing near the Smut Eye area and lifting north and east. And then it gets into these areas like Dry Creek Road, Mount Andrew when you're in Barbour counties. Just keep that in mind. If you're in northwest Barbour County, this is moving rapidly, and there looks like there could be debris even to the southern edge of that too. So debris in the area could be flown around. It doesn't take much, and if something plops down, you don't want to be outside at all for any reason, okay? So again, we are live down in Eufaula, and we're on the southern edge of this, and it looks like there's a little bit of a reprieve there. So downtown Eufaula, as we're weather aware right now and taking you live, has been more in a calmer portion of this, but the winds have picked up a little bit over the last 20 minutes now, and the flag, which was one straight there, you can see it's kind of moving a little bit, but the winds will be picking up likely up to 30 miles an hour here. As long as we don't get that strong push, it looks like we're losing the energy to the north and to the south, but that's your live picture looking west right now. Cody.
The Storm Prediction Center has actually upped our risk from the standard slight risk 2 out of 5. We are now in an enhanced risk for a good majority of the counties south of Columbus.
Okay, and that's what we were saying this morning with with Bear O'Brien. So noon, and just to give you an idea, if you have any family members, I'm going to digress here just to show you the power of this whole storm, this whole line, this whole squall line. Noonan, you get outside, right into Coweta County, you get all the way up through these areas. Numerous trees are reported on. This has been a little over an hour now. There are more than 10,000 customers without power reported by Georgia Power. And this is why, if you're trying to call people, don't panic. It could be they're just out of power right now up to those areas. That's all that's been reported is power outages and trees that were toppled over. But as Cody just said, we're upping the ante a little bit. 5 being the worst, but we're about a 3, you said now, on an enhanced scale, right? 3, did they go 3.5, did I hear?
They went 2 enhanced.
2 enhanced. Okay, 2 enhanced. Okay, so again, so 2 out of 5, but enhanced, it's higher up in the scale. We're talking about this on Kissin 99.3 this morning with Bear O'Brien. It's kind of what I was saying to him. If we're going to see anything with any strength, it would be farther south, and that would be the more enhanced area here. We still watch the line. This would be right around south of Union Springs on Alabama, 225, and you could see that it's crossing that area now, and it'll be coming just to the south of you in Midway. But if you're in Midway, you should still seek shelter. If you're in Clayton, you're too far south, so you're okay, but I would still, just be mindful. It's off to your north and west, so you're going to be okay. But 239, Alabama 239, now is the next trajectory track on here to come right up into this area. To the south of this, though, as I said, there's 2 areas of circulation, which has been consistent, and they keep rotating and what we call cycling. They kind of generate a little energy, they back off a little bit, the winds kind of catch up with it, and then they kind of get ahead of the actual line, and they start to rotate again, which is very common with this kind of straight outflow event like this, straight line winds. If you're in Clayton, you should be seeking shelter, and if you're north of that, you should be doing the same as it comes off of 239, exiting Bullock County, and then eventually just kind of crossing here over parts of Barbour, and then it'll kind of clip that area of Barbour, and it will be watching the extreme southern portions of Russell County before it gets into Georgia. So you could see the bright spots here on the image that I'm showing you here, just to the north, and one down the south. This is northwest of Clio. This is southern parts of areas here. So we do have a live camera in Eufaula. So we're going to keep an eye out on this for Eufaula as this whole line comes. So it could come pretty close to Eufaula, but it may be north of Eufaula. But we still got the polygon smack dab and all the way into Baker Hill and Eufaula. So we're going to have our live camera, but we're going to have our guys in a very safe area as we get closer. And if you just watch this whole line now and measure it, and include the potential of damaging wind and isolated tornadoes, too. They were looking at Clio, Clayton, Oatston, Baker Hill, and Eufaula now, because that's the southern part of that. But right now, again, these are the areas that you should already be paying attention. So our Barbour County residents, as we were kind of talking about this last night with the First Alert Weather Team and our upper management with our news director, and we were saying where would be some of the spots we got to watch, and this is the first thing that we talked about. So this is right in line with the forecast was showing. Technology is getting better. It's helping the meteorologist's eye to help to understand this. But again, this is not the worst we've seen, but you got to take it seriously, and you want to consider your shelter plans now as you get in here. Now, what's interesting, you can see where it comes. Just here's Eufaula, like I said, just to the north of there. But we still got to watch some circulation on here. So if you're in Eufaula, I don't want you to just sit back and say, hey, nothing's going to happen here. We still are watching that to the south of this. So don't be surprised if a severe thunderstorm warning may kind of clip out of this mess to the south of you, okay? But right now, it's been mainly north, but I could see that possibly. I don't know if there's any discussion on that, Cody. So you could see down farther south, you could see how this whole polygon is working all the way to the south here. But will it become a tornado warning? Well, not. That's to be seen as we keep watching that circulation. We take you down to Fort Rucker radar, and these scans have been pretty reliable. And from Clio to Clayton and areas here, if you're in Union Springs, you're in the clear right now. The worst is passing you now. It's just to the east of you. But these areas here is what we need to watch. And there's also the severe thunderstorm warning, as I said, farther south, which includes you and Eufaula. So we'll watch this. Severe thunderstorms can produce tornadoes. We watch for that. You don't always have to have a thunderstorm for tornadoes either. You don't even have to have a thunderstorm. You can have this spin up from shear or just from accelerating winds that are moving forward. But in this particular case, we do have a thunderstorm with this, and we're beginning to start to see the makings of this. So we're going to watch this inflow right now. We start seeing it moving away from the radar at 45, coming towards it too. So we'll watch this a little closer. What's doing on the other side here? We'll add it up. There have been roughly about 80. This one here you're getting about 55 or so 60-mile-per-hour winds potentially with this. So very strong gusty winds, and that's why there's a severe thunderstorm warning. We call this meso. Thunderstorms rotate. Mesoscale complexes. They become a tornado when the wind comes vertical and touches the ground. So that's the difference. So, you know, what's the difference between this and damage versus a tornado warning? It could be the same. It's just what makes people scared is tornadoes. You just don't know what's going to happen, what's flying around. But severe thunderstorm winds are just as menacing and create just as much damage too. So right along State Route 239, we watch this, and the next focus will be south of Midway around State Route 51. And Cody, if we were to take that up in that particular movement there, let's just see what happens on that. And these are getting populated. We're going to get a little close to street level here in a minute. But you could see from Howell, Hawkinsville, Batesville, Comer, and this is the Garmin Crossroads area, really need to be seeking shelter. Take this seriously, even as far east of Alabama State Route, or U.S. State Route 82 here. It's U.S. 82 around the Batesville area. But State Route 51 for Alabama, that's headed your way, and it's north of Garmin Crossroads between Midway. Anyone in between there, I would be seeking shelter immediately. Now, who are we talking about? And I mentioned this about 15 minutes ago. Dry Creeks Road, if you're in the neighborhood here. If you're in Evergreen Road, that's just to the north of you, so you could see that as well. Let me back out a little bit closer. Now, if you go ahead and put the track right here in the center of that circulation, pull it up, we'll show you who we're looking at. And so if you're at Evergreen Road, County Road 25 near Garmin, you were probably more in a safe area, but still seek shelter because there's still a lot of strong winds with this. If you see this continue on this track, if you're in the Mount Scylla Church Road area, this is north of the Mount Andrew area, this is the area here you should all be seeking shelter. You know the neighborhoods, you know what I'm talking about in this whole northern portion of Barbour County here. County Road 49, we got a lot of new developments in there, a lot of homes in here too. You need to be seeking shelter right now, which would take you all the way to the Grant Road area and all those neighborhoods in between. Definitely you want to take that. And that gets into the areas around Comer, which you know where that is as well. We get just north of Eufaula. Those are the areas that you want to keep a watchful eye on and seek shelter. Again, just to repeat, enough walls between you and the outside. That's how we're looking at. Generally speaking, around Mary Pearson Road too, in these areas, this looks like this is going to be kind of the history of this, and it's going to continue and perhaps strengthen when it gets into more heating environment. So as you know, we haven't seen a lot here in our Georgia counties southeast of Columbus, Georgia. Those are the counties we're going to watch. They would include Buena Vista cities, Marion County in other words. We're talking about Sly County. We're going to be watching Ellaville. We're going to watch Sumter County, Plains, and Americus. We need to watch Weston and Webster County. We need to watch areas around Omaha, Stewart County. So we still got a lot of energy down here. We got to watch Clay County when we get into Fort Gaines, Randolph, Shellman, Cuthbert. We want to watch these areas down here, and Quitman as well, Quitman County. So we still got a little road to go here. Taylor, I wouldn't leave you out of that as well, okay? So Taylor County as well, we want to keep an eye out for that as well. But if you're in the areas now, extreme northern portion of Harris County, that's exiting out of Harris County and moving towards Talbot County right now, okay? So I'll get a little closer to that. That's the severe thunderstorm potential. If you're in Hamilton, it's moving past you on 116. If you're in Waverly Hall, winds are going to be picking up here in just a moment. But the severe portion is farther north. So Waverly Hall, look for gusts potentially up to 30 to 35. So weak limbs on trees, they break off easily, especially on those pines, those pesky pines when they're weakened like that. They start to snap and then they could topple easily. So that's what you're going to see here. So it's not severe, but again, you got to watch out for that. Manchester, Meriwether County, still in the clear right now, but it's to the south and east of Manchester. So if you're in Manchester, Woodbury, clear, okay? Greenville, clear. Pine Mountain, mainly clear right now. You're looking good. Just you still got rain and some lightning in the area. Thomaston, you're not clear. So Thomaston, you're going to see potential some strong damaging winds as it continues to move out of your area. Perspective all north of Highway 80, by the way, but it is moving on that trajectory in the northern portion. If you take that line north Harris County, right in the areas around Talbot, and then eventually going into Taylor County to the south. Farther south is where we're looking still at our severe thunderstorm warning in Barbour County. So the entire county, pretty much, except the tornado polygon doesn't extend in the northeast part of Barbour County or into Russell County, Alabama for that matter. But if it continues on its track, it will continue right along US 82, plop right into southeast portions of Russell, and I mentioned Stewart County. Then we got to watch Omaha, then we got to watch Eufaula and beyond in our areas of Randolph County, Georgia, Quitman and Clay counties in Georgia, and extreme southern portion areas here right now with this strong line from Louisville, Clayton, in between there, some strong gusty winds. And it looks almost as if, Cody, it's kind of interesting, Eufaula, and we'll go live there in a minute, but it looks like it may even split. I mean, if this splits, Eufaula will be spared from this, and there's a lot of trees. So if it continues on this trajectory as we're watching and we're looking at it farther south like Baker Hill, and I'm not leaving you guys out in Baker Hill, you will see some strong winds, but it could feasibly be Clayton, you're in a weak spot of this. There's like this little void here. So if you're in Clayton, right along the same areas west to east along State Route 30 in Alabama, it continues on the east side of the county, that you guys may just be just in that little void area. So this is interesting to watch. But if you're in Baker Hill, Alabama State Route 131, not happening. That's where those winds are going to definitely excel. And you can see by our velocity scans, there's a little rotation, but it looks like the forward winds are getting ahead of this rotation here and may just get absorbed or just fall apart. But we're watching around Louisville now for the potential of some strong damaging wind, and we'll watch this as it continues to move eastward. So we'll still focus on the tornado warning and a portion of the northern part of this, and that is coming in around County Road 49 in the neighborhoods here. And this just clips here, is just getting out of Bullock, but you can see it's coming into that Barbour County, Comer area and around Mount Andrew right now. So just missing you guys in Bullock. So it's just south of that. So the Mount Andrew neighborhood north right now should be seeking shelter immediately. If you're in a County Road 49 area west, seek shelter immediately right now. Comer, stand by. It's not quite there just yet, but it's moving awfully fast and you should already have your safe spot. Cody, no reports at all, but the damage thus far has been the trees have been numerous, hasn't it?
Yes, we've only had that one damage report up in areas of LaGrange. That was about, let's see, roughly about 45 minutes ago. In areas of Troup County, areas of LaGrange, it was just some trees down just from that northern segment of that line that actually got some forward momentum. Actually had 70-mile-per-hour winds with it. It put the Peachtree City National Weather Service on generator power. That was on that northern extent of that line. But right now we're just continuing to track this tornado just in northern Barbour County. It is somewhat weaker than what we've seen. It has shown signs of producing confirmation of damage with our algorithms here with our software. So we've had those little spots of damage that were reported. So it's just like skipping, setting down, getting back up, and then setting back down. And then right now, weak right now at the moment over the community of Mount Andrew in northern Barbour County. So that's some good news. Comer is still in this tornado warning through 11:30 Central Time. So in the next 14 minutes, really 13 minutes here, it should start to expire. And so far, this is our only tornado warning. We do have two other severe thunderstorm warnings. One includes parts of southern Barbour County, which does include the city of Eufaula, Louisville, Clayton, Blue Springs, Baker Hill. Another one up across the northern section of the viewing area, up around parts of northern Harris County, northern Talbot County, Meriwether, and then that eventually will be starting to move out of the News 3 viewing area. But it's really going to be the southern segment, how much energy or what kind of environment it gets into as it crosses the Chattahoochee River. So communities in Lumpkin, Weston, Preston, Americus, Ellaville, Buena Vista, you're not out of the woods just yet. Neither are communities down across parts of Clay, Quitman, and Randolph counties of Shellman, Cuthbert, Coleman, Georgetown, and you can just look back south of Eufaula. A lot of lightning. So the stronger segment of this storm is just south of Barbour County, near the Enterprise area of South Alabama, Coffee County, then back over around Andalusia into Covington County, and then right around Dothan. So as this continues to push eastward, we're going to have to watch our communities of Randolph County and then especially parts of Americus. That's where we actually have that enhanced risk. It does clip parts of Sumter, Webster, and Randolph, and probably Clay and Quitman counties right now, is that's where the level has been risen by the Storm Prediction Center out of Norman, Oklahoma.
So, Cody, the whole line itself, what can we do with that? I want to give you a second. And folks at home understand we're about 15 feet away from each other, practicing social distancing at Tyler in the studio, and that's it. There's three of us, and we're all at about 10, 15 feet apart, and meteorologist Nicole Phillips as well. But we're all working on this. So the entire line here, and I'll come back over here on camera. I guess let me walk off, and I'll let you. There it is. This kind of visible man popped in. But we're looking at Cordele, and these are areas north and more into Robbins. That's how fast this is moving to west central Georgia. So that takes it all the way through 130. This line is out of here, out of the viewing area by this point. So for the purpose of the news reviewing area, if you're in Marion County, as Cody pointed out, in points farther south and east, Maracus, Georgia, about 1 o'clock Eastern time, about 10 after, let's just say quarter after 1, that's it. After that, once it passes Maracus, it's out of here. So this was a fast mover. The tornado watches will expire. They will not go till 4 o'clock tonight Eastern time, 3 o'clock Central. Cody, go ahead. You got a little more
Speaking
info
of that,
Yeah.
Chambers County has been dropped from the tornado watch.
Okay, there you go, for that purpose. And if you look at this wide shot we have here, you get into northern Troup County and back across Chambers. Chambers, you're pretty much clear, except Valley, you're just seeing some heavy rain. So Valley, you're okay. Great to report about Lee County. Every time I see Lee County, of course, you know the stress levels here. We're looking good in Lee County right now, except we do got some thunderstorm right along Interstate 85 that could produce some strong winds, but nothing more than that. We're not going to see anything damaging with that. Back across Macon County, Tuskegee, you guys are like, you're in the clear. That's how fast it's moving. All the way back farther south there, too. We get into areas around Russell County and points farther south in Bullock County. And then we talked about Pike down here, but Bullock, you're pretty much clear, too, right now. Southeast Bullock, you're still in this tornado warning area, but we're looking at the physical rotation really in extreme northwest portion of Barbour County right now. So we'll take you back there well north of Clayton. So again, if you're in these areas here, it's just crossing the county line again. So here you go. It's still an extreme northwest part. Go figure, right here of Barbour, but it's going to cut right in the southeast corner here of Bullock County. Let's see what neighborhoods are down through here. We don't have too much in here, but it just, you could see how it's really rural. But if you're in the Mount Silla Church Road area, it's to your south. So right now that wind is to your south. So you're okay. But if you're in County Road 49, that's the area there that you want to certainly start to take shelter. But notice where you guys are here. Let's get a little tighter on that neighborhood up here, Cody. You can just even get right about in this area, the extreme north part, before you get to the panhandle there. There you go. Yeah, get a little tighter. There you go. So
to expire this tornado warning.
Yeah, and you can see it as it's coming in here. So it's going to be more of a wind event. See, what's happening is the physical line, it's getting almost kind of it's just getting absorbed and it's getting left behind. So that's some great news. This is great news. This is really great news today. But again, the warm sector never lifted as far north, but it had just enough to work with. But we still are not out of the woods for southeast portions of areas around Georgia as we speak. So once this does expire, we're in a severe, sure it'll keep the severe thunderstorm warning up. They're going to keep that up? I assume
yes,
so.
that goes until, let me get the graphic up here. And well, the tornado warning just went off on my software over here.
It'll go off in a second.
But it's still showing up on parts of Eufaula for the severe thunderstorm warning, which goes until, I would say, maybe 12:30.
Okay. So if you're in Baker Hill,
11:30.
Yeah, and there's still the threat of some 11:30, so that's 11:30 Central Time, obviously. So we are looking at anywhere around State Road 1 in southern portions of Barbour County. If you're on State Route 131 that goes right into US 431, that whole section here on Baker Hill, watch for some strong, gusty, possibly damaging winds with this because it's excelling fast. There's still some weak rotation, and it's rather interesting to see where it's kind of coming in the backside of this, Cody, because the winds are kind of moving this way, and then you still got on that backside, it's kind of a big upper level spin up through there on the back edge of that. So we'll keep an eye on that for some possibility of strong damaging wind.
This whole thing is like spinning.
Yeah, it's spinning, but it's like
really
a wake low
tight.
almost. Yeah, it's not a tornado. This is great about the technology here. We could kind of see this, but it's just this big broad area. But that big broad area could certainly include a big broad area of neighborhoods here of some strong damaging wind potential as it moves eastward right along State Route 131. So that we need to watch for. Eufaula is certainly looking clear. Let's take you a little bit farther north because if this tornado warning is expiring, that energy is just nothing but rain, and we got winds about 20 to 25 here in Columbus, Georgia. We could take you live here and show you what's going on in this area here. So let's take you back up in this area where the rain is now in South Columbus, right along the Fort Benning area. And I don't know if we have that live picture for you. Here we go. Let's take a live look. And you can see, looking towards Phoenix City now, the air looks pretty calm. It looks good. The worst is out of the area, but it's southeast in South Columbus and around Chatco now, around the Chattahoochee County area, south of this area. But as we move in a little closer, it's good. Columbus dodged a bullet here. Phoenix City did. Ladonia, Crawford did. Smith Station did. And you can see the skies appear like they're clearing, but there's still some rain that's behind it. And there will be more rain today. I mean, the rain, there'll still be some showers wrapping around this that could continue through 7 o'clock tonight. If any of you have to be out, only if you have to be out, as you know, with what's going on without me stating the obvious. Again, be prepared for some wet roads that could still continue behind this. Around Alexander City, you don't see it now, but there could be one more line of the actual physical front come through, can generate a little of that. It's been real busy down in Coffee County, down near Andalusia, Alabama, but when you get down near the Florida-Alabama border, that's where you're seeing the tornado warnings and numerous severe thunderstorm warnings, and there's been numerous reports down there, some damage too. This is right outside of the east shore of Alabama. Leaving Mobile, it's clearing. If you have any friends or family down there south of Atmore, where the casino is, and the reservation there, right along Interstate 65, it's all east of that now. So from Pike County, Alabama, Macon County, Alabama, you're clear. If you're in Lee County, Alabama, and you're looking clear too. So from Bullock, Macon, Lee, Chambers, we're clear as far as severe weather threat. If you're in Georgia, the severe weather threat continues a bit, possibly coming into Stewart County, and a line just to the northeast of that would be Sumter, Webster counties, Clay, Quitman, and Randolph counties, which include here in Cuthbert. So these are the areas we still got to watch because it's still severe thunderstorm activity just to your west moving your way. And I would believe now south of Eufaula, Clayton area, we got to keep Eufaula in that little mix here, but it appears to be farther south, pardon me, is where we're going to see most of that damage potentially as it moves eastward. Look at that, Cody, as it comes into Baker Hill. And you can see how it's getting a little discombobbled here, but there's still broad circulation on the back edge of both of these. So you're going to get that initial kind of gust front, and then you get that real strong winds with that coming with those thunderstorms. So, and there are thunderstorms with those too. So you got a lot of lightning and heavy rain, Cody. And you can see the times in here if you walk us through this.
Yeah, the storm is moving off towards the east here at 40 miles per hour, so it continues to slow down. But we do just have these very weak rotational couple. It's really all along this entire line. Moving off towards the east at about 40. The times here a little bit sped up to just give you a little heads up across the Oatston area, Baker Hill, about 11:38 Central Time, and then around Eufaula, 11:43 Central Time, and then it crosses into Quitman County, areas of Rick's Place, just right there along the Quitman-Clay County line through 12:48 Eastern Time. So we're starting to get Eastern Times here as it moves across parts of the Chattahoochee River and then possibly into northern portions of Clay County. But Fort Gaines, still keep an eye out. This storm system continues to move into your direction. A lot of very strong wind gusts associated with this storm. And looks like there's a little bit of a kinking area around the Blue Springs community, but nothing right now of any tornado warnings, just a severe thunderstorm warning for Barbour County until 11:30 Central Time. So really in the next 3 minutes, they may have to replace this severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Barbour County as we are getting to the end of that time frame on this warning. It will clip northern Henry County around communities of Edwin, Lawrenceville, and you can just see the storm is just constantly updating. It is moving very quickly, even though it is moving at 50 miles per hour. So right now, coming up into areas of Eufaula, you're starting to see some of that light to moderate rain, the heavier rain, and those wind gusts still back off towards your south east there, out across parts of Eufaula. And we'll take you live from Eufaula, Alabama. You can see some of the that flag just a little bit of flowing in the wind. You can see some of the trees right there as well, and and you can also hear the I think that's rain falling in the background.
Yeah.
And here's this new severe thunderstorm warning that they just issued as well until 12 p.m. Central Time, so 1 o'clock Eastern. They do tag it as tornado possible, so there is that tornado possibility around parts of Baker Hill. It looks like where the new warning is right here, that trim segment just from really just towards the east there at Clayton, then back across towards the Barbour County area up to the Georgia line, Georgia-Alabama state line. So Eufaula, US 431 in that new warning, and it does include the tag of tornado possible, but it's not a tornado warning.
So we need to watch southern Stewart County and southward. So that's what we're looking at, as Cody just said. You can see where it ends because the National Weather Service office out of Birmingham has issued that, and it stops. We'll watch Tallahassee. We'll probably issue one down for Clay Quitman, Randolph, and then we'll watch Peachtree City issuing that south Stewart County and likely in the areas farther south of that. So we'll watch those counties as we continue to monitor this as it gets down south of that area. So Lumpkin, you would be in there if you're in Lumpkin, Georgia. Just stay with us. There's the potential of some strong damaging wind. We are still looking at this. We've been watching this for quite some time as it cycles. Broad circulation with some very strong gusty winds. And again, headed towards the Baker Hill area. As I mentioned earlier, Eufaula getting a heavy rain and wind, but you know how much of that is going to be farther south? The energy, it appears to be hankering down there, but anywhere right along 30, this is State Route 30, headed towards Eufaula, will be just to the south of the historic area Eufaula, just to add some perspective. So again, there's no tornado warnings right now, although this continues to show it on this system here. It'll just cycle it off in just a second, but it'll be out of here. But the severe thunderstorm risk and damaging winds continue with some broad circulation with these thunderstorms. You can see not a lot of lightning over the last, I think these are set at 30 minutes, Cody, if it defaulted on this.
I think it's 15.
Is it 15 now? Okay, so it's really not a lot of lightning, but there's still thunder with it. And you don't have to have thunderstorms for isolated tornadoes or wind damage. So
there's 30. Winds. I just put 30 on.
Yeah, so 30 on there. Okay, so about 30 minutes. So again, not a lot of lightning, and as we get more scans, we might get more data in. But it is a thunderstorm moving towards Eufaula, heavy rain, and it'll be winds possibly with something like this, almost to significant levels, maybe 40 at the most, probably with that. Farther south, however, that potential could go 60. And maybe stronger embedded in here, especially with that rotation behind it. I wouldn't be surprised. Baker Hill, you guys got to really hunker down and treat that. Any severe thunderstorm should be treated just like you would any storm, whether it's a tornado or severe thunderstorm, get into your most interior section of your home, because this has a potential and has a history of producing some isolated damage and debris along that line with the weak tornado that was reported earlier. So 431, where it intersects, it's US 431. In State Route 1, you see how it kind of loops right in here, and State Route 95 kind of loops right in here, right at the intersection here, right to the east of Baker Hill. We want to keep an eye out for some strong damaging wind, and you can see it here as it's riding just to north of State Route 131, and if it continues on its same trajectory path, it would take it right into the Baker Hill area, smack dab. Eufaula, you still got some strong winds with it, so the velocity scans still show you still got enough gusts, and certainly the winds are going to be picking up here, and you got some quite a bit of heavy rain that goes with it. Well, the good news for Troop, you're completely almost clear. Clear, not Chambers County, Lee County. The strong, severe threat is out of your area. Tuskegee, we're looking at areas there, which is good for you. So this would be Macon County. We get into areas around Russell County. You're pretty much Russell out of the clear. Muskogee's looking better. Harris, you're looking better, but just a lot of rain and wind and strong gusty winds. Talbot County, heavy rain, winds, thunderstorm leaving areas around Thomaston, Georgia, and Meriwether County clearing out. Our focus, again, is Barbour County, southeast Barbour County, southeast of Eufaula. We're also looking at the live picture right now we saw in Eufaula, Alabama now with that heavy rain, as I just showed you, and it's only going to get more intense, the rainfall. So again, the winds haven't really met up yet with this, but you're seeing the preceding rain, and then the winds will pick up shortly from about 20. We're thinking about 20 to 30 with that, maybe up to 40. We're back to the rotation though down here, and I'm just surprised, Cody. We probably will get that. Should probably get a tornado warning on the shoe. Yeah, that's really cranking. If this is just severe thunderstorm winds and a mesocyclone and not touching the ground, there's some strong winds with this, big time. And you're talking almost 80-mile-per-hour winds that are up with this. Are they at the surface? Potentially. So again, like I said earlier, if this was coming towards Eufaula, there'd be a lot more population. But if you're in Baker Hill, you need to seek shelter immediately, right now. And we could show this a little closer and get to street level.
You know what? This was about, what was it, a couple of months ago,
yes.
the same area.
I was just going to, it's like reading my mind. It repeats the same areas, and it's riding right to the north of State Route 131. And it would hit Sandy Point, Baker Hill. You're just to the bottom right down here. You see me here on the screen. But if you're in a Baker Hill lane, they call it that whole stretch, that corridor, that's really State Route 131.
They're coming with a tornado warning.
Yeah, and the tornado warning will be coming here in a second. But as we just said, we're going to keep watching that and see how that behaves as it continues to go. There it is, goes into our area there. So as we said, just Mitchell Road, you are clear now. It looks like if you're in the Mitchell Road area, there's a potential tornado there and damaging winds definitely. This is all south of Diggs Road. So if you're in that area there, make sure you seek shelter. Parker Road, that's far east to this. Sandy Point, this is all literally, it's almost riding exactly right along Sandy Point area, which is right along State Route 131. I would definitely seek shelter all the way through here. We could get a little closer here. We're that was, I think, it was at Mount Airy, Cotton Hill down here. And this is Mount Ariel Church Road, but the neighborhood south of this, I would still seek shelter immediately. There could be debris with this potentially, and we'll check those debris signatures in just a minute. But it's going to continue on this trajectory. It could take it all the way to areas around White Oak, Church Road. You could see Sandy Point, Marion Drive. This is right along 5 Mile Road. If you're in the Cotton Hill Road area, south and in between 131, these are the neighborhoods you should all be getting in your interior section. Now, never on a second story, and definitely not into a trailer. If you have a safe spot, you've got to get in the most interior section if you can right now. I wouldn't just mess with this because there's just a lot of winds with this. And if there's a lot of trees nearby, this is a kind of event that will topple these trees quite easily. In Therese, these areas here in these neighborhoods, as you get to South Eufaula, we'll call it, those areas got to watch. But the historic area Eufaula, this is all going to be to the south of you between Therese and these areas here. So we've got to watch these neighborhoods as well. Eufaula is in the polygon for the tornado warning, but the physical rotation is much farther south. But there is a little bit of rotation too to the north here, north of Cotton Hill. We need to keep an eye on that. That's rather weak, but I don't know if that was just an anomalous scan there, but we got to keep an eye. But there's definitely the Cotton Hill area. We need to watch out. And we're going to watch this too. Cody, give me a trajectory here. We're going to talk to the mayor of Eufaula, because Eufaula still should be standing on guard, and Baker Hill for sure, and Cotton Hill.
And we just got a new tornado warning downstream of this in Georgia.
Okay, so we need to watch that too. Okay, so that's what we're talking about, our Georgia residents. So we're already looking into Georgia. Mayor Jack Tibbs is on the phone right now. Mayor, what are you experiencing, and what's your preparations like right now here in Barbour County?
Well, we've been notifying our residents all morning about this storm coming our way, and hopefully everyone's taking shelter. The warnings have just gone off, so we're prepared. We always have our crews ready in case of emergencies like this. And I spoke to our public works director this morning. All of our equipment's ready, so we're hoping.
Yep. Well, Mayor Jack Tibbs, if I can let you know here, there's a new warning. We're going live from your area now, Mayor, and the rain is coming out quite heavily. There's some circulation that's coming towards you with potential some strong winds from a severe thunderstorm, but you're hearing the sirens if you're in Eufaula because you're in that polygon for the tornado warning. We're seeing the tornado scan moving awfully fast. We had the tornado moving awfully fast now, Mayor. This is well south of you, south of Cotton Hill, but we're definitely seeing a tornado potentially coming south of 5 Mile Road in southern portion of the area. So we're going to keep an eye on that, especially in the Baker Hill area. But what are you seeing right now? Because what we're seeing farther south is a very possible tornado. And where are you exactly as we speak?
I'm here at the Barbour Creek boat landing, which is about on the south side of the main part of town. And right now, just heavy rains. There's not a lot of wind. We just had a heavy storm, rain shower come through, but not anything threatening at this point. It's just like a summer rain shower. We are starting to see a little lightning, and you can hear some thunder to the west. So I'm sure that's that's the main part of the front.
Well, I think where you are right now, Mayor, and you be safe, and we're going to touch back with you. South of where you are, there's likely a tornado here, and it's to south of the mayor, and we appreciate the mayor's time in keeping the level head during this moment here with the severe weather. But we're looking north of State Route 131 and south of Cotton Hill Road, but this is definitely good circulation. And the debris signature on this, Cody, do we have a CC on this?
Not yet.
Not yet. It'll be coming. Yeah, it's not yet. It's not showing too much. But
National Weather Service is saying their products are reading 100 knots. So
yeah, that's about what you had.
Over 100 miles per hour.
Yeah.
And they just said a TDS is beginning to show up, but not yet.
Yeah, and that's because what happens is this is hitting.
You can see some of it right there.
It's hitting more of a populated area. There could be more trees. You're going to start seeing the debris start to pick up with this.
They're saying near County Road 36. So
County Road 36. Okay, so this is one of the stronger ones we've had this season that we've been monitoring. So again, when you start seeing this tornado, we're watching for debris with this, we certainly going to have to do that. But we're going to get a little closer, and we're going to put a track on this once we get it situated. I'm just looking to see where we are. So 5 Mile Road. No doubt you should be taking certainly immediate shelter immediately all across 5 Mile, especially around the Twin Lakes Road area neighborhood. If you're in the Twin Lakes Road neighborhood, and I'm talking 5 Mile Road because that's exactly what it is, 5 miles all the way down to State Route 131, you should be seeking shelter right now, especially in the Twin Lakes Road area. If you're watching here in Barbour County, this again is all southwest of Eufaula. The mayor is in south portions. You fall down by the docks over in this area. He's around the inlet road areas where we just spoke with the mayor. Sandy Lane West, these neighborhoods here where it connects to 5 Mile Road, those areas are to be seeking shelter immediately. This will continue to extend to the state docks area where the mayor was located. So again, we're going to stay in touch with him. I think he might just be to the north of that, but it's going to continue to move off into Georgia, no doubt. And bring another warning as it continues to move into the Georgia side, as you can see right now. So
we have a debris signature, they're saying.
Okay. It doesn't look good on our scan, but we'll take it. Maybe, are you in Fort Rucker or are you in Maxwell?
I'm on Fort Rucker.
Oh, no, it looks like it's coming from, Warner Robins there for a second. Hang on.
No, it's Fort Rucker.
Fort Rucker, okay. Let's see where we're at. It'll give us a good scan. We'll stay in one spot here with the neighborhoods.
I would look somewhere right in there.
Okay, right there is what we're looking at.
It probably needs to be updated.
Yeah, we'll wait for it to get. It takes a second because level 2 radar, it's going to scan vertically and horizontal. It's got to go through its whole process. The information coming here is about 10 seconds, but other than that, we're getting it pretty close to live. Yeah, and the tornado sirens you can hear.
And this is going to come close to the Walmart down off of 431.
Yeah, right down in that area. So keep that in mind, the Walmart that's down there, and this is 431 South. So you can hear the sirens. This definitely has an incredible movement on it. It's tightening up now. So this is going to be the talker here for a little while as we continue on this. Cody, if we do a couple things here, don't want to lose the scan because we're getting, look how fast, this thing is moving towards Therese now. We need to be in the neighborhoods right here. This is moving fast, very fast. If you're in Georgia now, and I'm talking about areas, I think we're talking Stewart here. Quitman County. If you're in Quitman County, anyone in Quitman County, seek shelter immediately. Just go with that right now.
There's our debris ball.
Okay, because we got a debris ball. That's exactly what we're looking for. You haven't seen this in a while, and I don't want to mention that we haven't seen stuff like this since March 3rd. It's not as big, but this is a serious thing. So we need, if you're in a Hummingbird Lane area, down near Therese, shelter immediately. Keep a focus, keep a level head, you're going to be okay, but please just get in the center part of your house. Do not try to look at this storm. Don't do it because there's a lot of debris with this. This has a lot of debris in this area here. If you're in the old Abbeville Road area, 431, as Cody pointed out, this is where the Walmart is, and you go farther south, that very populated here, right along US 431, right where State Route 131 connects. We're going to be watching that. The mayor, I believe, is just to, I think he said he might have been just to the south of this, but we got to keep an eye on this big time. If you're in the White Oak,
this is also going to come close to the Country Club.
Yeah.
It's just south of Walmart as well.
Yes. Okay. So that's all in that same area. And Cody, that is right on. It's right 131 where it intersects right into 431. It's going to continue on that whole track. Let's get right into these neighborhoods here. Let's get where Marion Drive is in these areas here. See how close we can get a little closer. Eufaula Downs area, Dykes Drive first. Eufaula Downs neighborhood. I hope these roads sound familiar. He could click on these streets for us. Pebble, What was that again? Give me back on that one there.
Beach.
Pebble Beach Drive, I believe that is. Pebble Beach Drive. Notice these areas that we're clicking on, the loop here, all these neighborhoods here, seek shelter immediately. If you're in the Amanda Lane area, Eufaula Downs area to Leroy Road, seeking shelter. It's almost right on top of you right now. The Robert E. Lee Way area, seek shelter. This is what we call the Therese area. It goes right into the Pebble Beach Drive neighborhoods. All these areas are places you have to go. Is there a way to let that one click when you keep getting over there? I know it's hard to. Memory Lane, that's what it is. Marion Drive, all these roads here. Battle, what was the other one down? Easy Street. And these neighborhoods seeking shelter immediately. It's going to continue to leave here outside of Eufaula, and this is just to the south of the historic areas we've been saying. So we need to keep an eye on this. I've been watching this for an hour now and kept saying how the historic area, it's so tight, it's just to your south. So call this the south portion of Eufaula here, and we need to be in our safe spot right now. So,
and it's heading right towards the golf course where that Pebble Beach Drive is. That is where the country club is. There's also a gas station right there at 131 and 431, where Alabama 131 meets. There's a gas station. There's a couple of other stores right around that, and it's heading right towards the intersection right there.
And we'll take this completely to Deer Point Road once we get in the areas right around Quitman County. And again, all of Quitman County, I would be seeking shelter until this whole line is out of the area. Here's a wide view of that. Georgia State Route 39, where Old Fort Gaines Road is, all the way through areas around Winding Road, and down across these areas here. You could see it from perspective. You could do a track here, Cody, and just take it right into Georgia, because this has got a life to it here. It's going to take it right into Hatcher in Georgia. This will be US 82 that leaves Alabama right in the state of Georgia. Therese, Hatcher, and Morris will keep you right here in Alabama for a second, from Therese to about 11:46. But look how fast it comes in. Within 10 minutes, this is going to be right in Georgia. And then about another 10 minutes plus after that, it continues around Morris, the Sanford area, and Beatrice in our Georgia viewing area to about 10 after 1, as we're saying. So this here is a long track tornado. It will go down as, and these are the ones that are sometimes the most dangerous because how much damage it could do, that's for sure. There's broad circulation I see north of areas around 95 there, but it's still north of areas of Barbour County. We're going to keep an eye on that for Clay County in a little bit because there's still some circulation down there. But for right now, a very dangerous storm potentially. And if you're in your center part of your house, you're going to be okay. This is moving fast.
It is right over the golf course.
It's right over the golf course in that last scan. If you're in Winding Way Boulevard, seek shelter immediately. We're going to get you right into Georgia here. In within minutes, this is going to be in Georgia. It's moving that quick. So let's get that track. It's coming out of eastern portions of Barbour County. If you're in Eufaula, you're clear. In Eufaula, you're clear. Okay, south of Eufaula, it's right around the golf course down here, east of State Route 1, Highway 1. It's moving into Georgia, and it's coming into the Winding Way Boulevard area. You should seek shelter immediately. Georgia State Route 39 intersects right here with US 82. That comes out of Eufaula right into Quitman County. If you're in Quitman County, all neighborhoods here, all the way down to Ralph Senior Road, everybody should be seeking shelter right now. The whole entire county, I would just play it safe. It's just so much easier because this is moving too quick and very fast. And so it's going to come in quick with a real fast punch. And it's moving at probably, it's got to be picking up momentum.
They're saying 45, but I'm going with 50 just because of the quick updates that the scans are providing. The current debris detector showing it right over or just north of the Therese area, crossing the river as we speak.
Could you circle that debris, Cody, just to show everybody?
Yes.
And we'll put it. That's the dangerous. That's the part that I don't like to see is this debris, and that is one big debris ball, and that means there's a lot being picked up here.
And I don't know if we're getting another storm just south of this.
That's what I was talking about
earlier. It just caught my attention over near Bluffton.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about for Clay County. Check
very strong rotation right there.
Yeah, you can see it right there.
But no tornado warning on that.
No. But if you're in the Mill Pond Road area, Parksville area, and once you get out of these areas here, Jeff, this is all south of that, but right along US 27, it's just to the east of that, headed towards Parksville in Georgia. Those are the areas that I would seek shelter just to play it safe. but there hasn't been anything flagged on that. If you're in Cuthbert, this is north of you. If you're in Randolph County and Cuthbert, this is all north of you. So this is a dangerous storm. It's crossing right now into Georgia as we speak. And this next scan, it will already be in Equipment County. If it's not there already, it's starting to come in as we speak. And it's moving towards State Route 39 and where US 82 connect. And there would be Old Fort Gaines Road, Winding Way Road, all these areas here in Deer Point Road area. It's going to come right across Deer Point. So if you're in the Deer Point Road area, you should be already in your safe spot right now. WRBL radar, you can have it if your power goes out. You can check out the latest live stream on there, WRBL.com. Q1073 FM, potentially will be on there on our, of course, our radio that we're looking at as well. Old 39 Road, which continues right here, which goes to Old Fort Gaines. This is the whole area around here. Keep that in mind, you should be right in your safe spot. It's going to continue to cross, I would say, almost right through that intersection with the latest polygon. Cody, if you track it, go ahead, I'll let you track it there. And yeah, that's a perfect point there for just so people can get perspective of their neighborhoods. It'll take you all the way to Hill Place Road, Crossroads, and Hatcher. These areas here, as it continues to move in this area, it's going to certainly move fast right out of Equipment County, and it will be watching it as it continues to move east too. So even a wider perspective. Let's go wider real quick just so we can see the other counties that we need to mention here. So once it gets out of, we'll get out of course, Quitman. You can see we were looking at Clay earlier, farther south.
Yeah, near the Bluffton area.
Bluffton area.
This is one of those discrete supercells.
That's what you got to watch out for. That's
it's showing a lot of rotation, but nothing.
Yeah, right here.
Nothing from the National Weather Service yet.
Yeah, we need to be on there. I don't know if Tallahassee's, if they're what's going on there, but they should be on that. But we'll keep an eye on that for everybody. Do you have Tallahassee on?
Yeah, I'm right.
And it could be because I had KFFC
right
up.
now.
I'm sorry, I didn't have KTAE, and I should have on there. But that right there is what we need to be watching. And again, even a couple areas. So if you're south, if you're in Bluffton, you're okay. But if you're on US 27, just to the east of that, I would say if you're in Arlington and Edison, in between here, certainly seek shelter just from this, with the potential of damaging winds for sure with this. And again, Clay in those areas, and that's farther south in our counties, farther south. So we get into Randolph County, just clipping in Nova parts. So we said areas around Quitman and Randolph is certainly going to be an issue here. So we're going to watch Quitman County as it moves through rapidly, and then we're going to see it come right into Randolph County. So all you guys along that whole trajectory should be certainly seeking shelter. Let's go up a little higher. Yeah, if we can keep, just see that for a second. That's amazing. Yeah, those are more. That's what we call discrete. They're very. See how they're separate from the line, and those are good mesoscale convective systems, we call it, and they can get up to 40, 50,000 feet sometimes, which you could do a 3D volumetric on it. We get there.
Birmingham just put a significant
significant weather
advisory on this moving through Russell County.
Yeah, so Russell County, even though the worst are, you still got some significant winds up to 45 with this. Okay, so outside of Hurtsboro, you're clear. Fort Benning, Chatco, Casita, certainly keep on the lookout. You should still be in your most center area for significant winds. These are not severe, but they're just under that. And that probably needs to be watched.
And to answer the question about the Clay County one that is discrete, they said it's more of some side lobe rotation.
And that can happen. Yeah, side lobe is very interesting because when you get that scan, this is what this level 2 gives you so much good scans and technology on it. What you're seeing on that is certainly some very strong winds. I mean, you get about probably 1,000 feet high, and these winds are really howling, and it'll still come down. So it'll appear, somebody may say, there was a tornado that came through. These are just strong accelerating winds that are outflowing ahead of it. Deer Point Road, just to the east of you. If you're at 39, again, we're watching this at about 80, maybe 84, 85 mile per hour winds with it. There could be, from our point, seeing a little bit of weakening with it from 100 mile per hour, at least measured winds, not definite, but at least what we're seeing from Doppler indicated measurements. This is still holding up with the debris. So the last scan, we got a little debris. I don't know, up to the north there, that's got to be, this is your debris ball right here. Doubtful with that. That's just showing you the.
Yeah, it correlates with the rotational coupling.
Yeah, that's what it is. So it is. There's some debris out there, which makes it dangerous. Let's get a little closer to the neighborhoods here, Cody, on State Route 39, where it intersects with these. And if you're in Winding Way Boulevard, you're clear. Cool Branch Road, I would still seek shelter, but Cool Branch Road, where it comes by Berry Chapel Road, where you guys intersect, seek shelter immediately. That's the intersection there that you want to watch. Parkman Road is around here as well. But right along these areas here, Woodlawn Drive, you should be in your safe spot too, the most center part of the viewing area. Is meteorologist, are we in Max 1?
We're on 2.
We're on 2. So is meteorologist Nicole Phillips on that one? Yeah, if she can dial, kind of get that in there too, we'll get some social posts going on there, because I think she'll be keeping you guys open on social news desk. So we continue to watch this as it advances eastward, and you got Ralph Senior Road back to Parkman Road, and you can see how this continues to move this way. Old Fort Gaines Road too, it'll come up and intersect with State Route 39. So again, as this continues to move east, northeast, the Castle, I think this is Castle Tower Road, all the way through here. That gets you right out of Clay and Quitman counties to the south, but Quitman and Randolph just north of Cuthbert. The Hatcher area, you'll be north, this will be north of you, but the Old Fort Gaines Road area, that's not the case as it continues to move a little bit east. It looks like the last couple scans have it almost stagnant right now. I don't know why it's not moving, but it will. Technology. Okay, it'll come up here in a second.
Yeah, we haven't had an update yet.
It'll be coming. You get little hiccups in these systems, and we got to just, so people know, because this is still moving eastward, so I want you to keep that. That's why people need to keep that in mind. South of Ediston.
Yeah, keep an eye right there.
And east of
for
Bluffton.
Another one.
Shorterville, north of that area, too, we're going to watch. There's our tornado that we're looking at, and areas outside of Clay. And we'll get into Quitman County farther south. We'll be watching that as well, too. We'll watch it if that comes into areas farther south in that area as well. So we got that's just exiting out of there right now. It's just coming out of that area. So if you're in Fort Gaines, right down here, just keep in mind you got some strong winds still coming out with that strong storm moving your area. It was, of course, severe across BMX issuing that, and has now been extended in your area. So strong damaging winds are still likely. We're seeing what we call discrete cellular activity ahead of this outflow, which is not a good sign. And if you're in the Morgan area, these areas just to the south of the county, south of Shellman and extreme southern portions of Randolph County. Okay, south of the Country Club, Cody, several homes are damaged, reported, according to Mayor Jack Tibbs, who let me ask you, our producer, we communicate with, so people at home know that I'm talking to our producer and our assistant news director, Connor Hackling. What is he seeing right now? Is he in that area where it was damaged? Because I was trying to get a point of reference. Okay, let him confirmed. Okay, so it is confirmed several houses. Country Club of Alabama, if any of you folks know this in Barbour County, the Country Home neighborhood south of that, several homes confirmed damage right there. So again, this is a real deal, and we're still tracking it right here. So and we've been watching this even when it was cycling and it wasn't a tornado. Now it's a tornado, it keeps going back and forth, but now it went into an environment which lets us see this where it had time to warm up through the day. That's just what it needed to work in that, so it had a little bit more elevation to it. And that was a case, as you see, because it was later in the day where we begin to see this happen. If you're on Hill Place Road, just northeast of State Route 291, where US 82 connect, you need to take shelter immediately. These neighborhoods up here, just to the southwest of Ball Road, can we just kind of put it in there real quick, Cody, and just see? Bussey Road, this is Roland Road, Ball Road, County Highway 12, up through here, Hill Place Road. These are the areas here you want to seek shelter immediately, especially these neighborhoods here. If you're in the Springvale area, I would seek shelter immediately too. But let's see what's right in here, these neighborhoods here, as we monitor that where it's moving. It's moving a little bit north and east, but it's almost got an easterly trajectory to this. Go ahead and advance it back.
Yeah, let me roll it through here.
Yeah, let's just see.
Yeah, moving more east.
It's kind of doing more east, but we want to fan it out, so it's okay to fan it. So we'll fan it like it's east trajectory and let it open up, and that way it'll cover everybody.
Getting reports of possible semis overturned on 431?
Absolutely. With this, because it doesn't take much wind to overturn a semi. There's too much air from the road to the trailer. It lifts it right up and it'll flip any semi over. People always think they're heavy. They'll do it. Absolutely not. Worst place to be in any vehicle vehicles will lift right up in the air. So if that's the case, these are easily 70, 80 mile per hour winds, if not even higher, estimated at a little over 100 by the National Weather Service Office radar confirmation. We saw it once. Cody was able to catch that when it was about 100 mile per hour winds. So, okay, it's headed towards Benevolence, northern Randolph County, but it looks like it's moving eastward. It's very broad now. And again, we want to keep an eye. This has still got some strong winds with it. And debris. And debris like to the south. If you're in a Hatcher area, there could be some debris headed in your neighborhood. So please stay indoors. Flying debris injures most people in these events more than anything. So do not look outside. Don't try to track this tornado. We don't want anyone to put themselves in harm's way. It's not worth it. Trust me, it's not worth it. We watch the Hatcher area and eventually going towards Springvale, as I said earlier, and we'll keep an eye on that as it continues to Martha Berry Highway or US 27. We'll watch, pardon me, from that point, whether or not this makes it into Sumter County, which right now, Sumter County, don't have a safe spot in your head, like Plains and southward, Plains, Georgia, and western Sumter, but just keep an eye on that. We're gonna be monitoring it. It still may stay a little bit to the south. If it stays in Benevolence to Parrott, Georgia, which is just getting into outside our viewing area temporarily before it picks up, just keep that in mind. Fort Gaines, strong winds from the severe thunderstorm farther south, but that should be weakening right along Georgia State Route 266. And again, if you're in that area, expect some strong winds, possibly damaging winds. Cotton Hill, just to the east of State Route 39. Pecan, northeast of Fort Gaines. Locals, I heard them pronounce it two different ways, headed towards Coleman. There's some winds that could be certainly strong here and headed your way too. So this is not tornadic. In Fort Gaines, you should be clearing here very shortly, very shortly. So that'll be some good news for our residents down there. So we continue into areas around Randolph County in just a moment here as we continue to watch this coming out quickly out of Quitman and coming in extreme northern portions here. So we do have to watch possibly southern Webster and southern Sumter, okay? So once we get out of course, we're talking about southern areas around. Let's get into southern portions. There's Richland, Omaha, Stewart County there to north. Northwest portions of Randolph County, and then it's going to go northwest into here and end up into Webster. So we're going to watch Webster. Right now you're okay, but we need to watch Webster closely. But it still seems to be moving east. Could have a northeast towards Benevolence. So Benevolence, Weston, and Webster County, there's no warning there yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if this will be coming your way very shortly. Parrott and Dawson, Georgia, as it continues to move on this easterly track. So everyone from Weston, Parrott, Benevolence should all be seeking shelter immediately, Cody. And you could still see it still has a mind of its own. It's still going on there. It looked like it was weakening. It's tightening right back up again. It looks like it could be a little rain wrapped as well, too.
That is right, and we're getting reports of major structural damage at the country club just south of Eufaula. So if you're in Quitman County, if you're in northern Randolph County, take this serious. It has a history of producing damage and producing significant damage. The tornado warning is just right on the edge of Cuthbert, so should pass just north of Cuthbert. Between the Randolph County, Sumter County line is where this most likely will push through on Georgia Highway 27. That's where we have that rotation right now, just in the middle of Quitman County. So we continue to have confirmation of debris showing up. We see that couplet right now. Although it's not as impressive as we've seen, it is still very tight and still what we call gate to gate. You have those greens and those reds right next to one another. That is what we call gate to gate shear right now. So Cuthbert, areas of Benevolence right now. Benevolence really needs to be, you need to be taking your tornado precautions. I would call out the communities right near that Stewart County line in Stewart County, like Troutman, area south of Lumpkin. I would just go ahead, take a precaution, go ahead and move into that tornado safe place, even though you're technically not under a tornado warning. But if you're right there next to the Randolph County line, I'd already be taking that those measures. Just because we don't have that tornado warning, we're right on the edge of the National Weather Service offices, so one has not issued. I would just take it very serious right now. Even areas just in Quitman County, just in eastern Quitman County, that's where we have that rotational couplet as well. And if it continues to hold together, what we've seen, somewhat this will get occluded at some point and get pinched off from the main energy. That's when this will start to weaken. We don't know when that time frame will be. That's why we're going to continue to watch it over the next, really the course of this warning, which goes over the next 12 minutes. So over the next 12 minutes, if you're in Randolph County, Quitman County, take that tornadoes plan to put it into action, because we've already had major structural damage reported just across the river, just south of Eufaula near the Country Club. Bob?
Cody, you said the gate and the shear, and when we're talking about that, you can, if you give me an inflow and an outflow of the arrows here and show you what we're talking about. If you're in Benevolence, you're looking at rapid change of wind direction and speed. That's the shear we refer to it as, and that's where we see that rotation is what we're looking at. As Cody said, rain wrapped in here, weakening slightly, but continuing on its course. So Weston, Benevolence, and Parrott, I would still, even though this is not likely going to be exactly in your area, you can see the latest scan. We're going to advance it again. It's moving. It looks like it even slowed down just a tad north of Cuthbert. So if you're in Cuthbert, in Randolph County, this is still to the north here around Springvale. If you guys know where Springvale is and Wades, I'd keep it right here. Let's just keep it here, because certainly there's still debris that's being picked up on the latest scan, a scan that was before this last one. So Springdale Road in Springdale, definitely seek shelter. The Ball Road area, Old Springvale Road, absolutely this is going on. So as Cody said, take it seriously.
We now have
right
a
now.
severe thunderstorm warning, including parts of Columbus. We just got it from this storm that is moving out of Russell County. We just got this new severe thunderstorm warning for areas around Fort Benning.
Okay, and Max, when are we going under?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. We got meteorologist Nicole Phillips. She'll take some of your questions as well on a WRBL
This
page.
is showing some very broad weak rotation as well.
Yes, absolutely. So we need to watch this. Yeah, and I can see it's very broad around South Fort Benning here and around Columbus, Georgia. Looks like North Columbus, right around the J.R. Allen Parkway, Midland, Muskogee area there. So we'll keep an eye on that, but it's very, very weak, but we're going to watch it. Once that comes through, guys, you can see how there's appendage here down here, so it's coming into this environment. We didn't have a lot coming into Columbus earlier, but this is all south. So Russell County, it's East Russell County, all east of 431. If you're anywhere like around Fort Mitchell, you're clear, but it's just off. You can see how dark those skies look, and there's just a little bit of energy there. We'll take you down to Fort Benning and see what's going on. We'll just give it a quick look here over South Lumpkin Road and the Battle Park in South Columbus. And before you get onto 185 on Post, from First Division. I think if like First Division Road, that whole area there where the golf course is, as it comes over just maybe to the east of Lawson Field, it's coming right into that area. Just keep in mind there's a potential of some strong damaging winds with this, and worth noting it is a little weak circulation, but as all thunderstorms do. So we look down here and we're looking at this still tightening up. It still looks like it's you know, not the traditional gate to gate, but it's still got some energy with it. It's coming very close to the Springvale area. I'm just hesitant. I'm wondering what's going on with the scan. This did not even move hardly. So there must be something.
It has tightened up a bit from the previous scan. I don't know if they changed the settings in at Fort Rucker, if it's in sales or not. That's maybe why we're getting a delay in the radar data.
Okay. Okay. We have minor injuries reported right just south of the Country Club, and 12 homes have been damaged, confirmed by Mayor Jack Tibbs. So 12 homes damaged. The mayor is out there assessing the damage with local first responders. And again, there has been reports of some minor injuries with this. So we're asking everybody, this is south of, can you repeat that again, south of what? Yeah, south of the Country Club of Alabama. We continue to see this. So once you have this kind of damage out there, that could cause more injuries. Do not put first responders in a bad spot, please. You have no reason to go out there and no reason to go out and search it. The first responders are there, let them do their job. And Mayor Jack Tibbs is out there assessing about 12 homes south of the Country Club in Alabama. The Country Club of Alabama has been damaged, and some reports of some minor injury. So they are on it, local officials, including your mayor. So please let them assess it appropriately. Do not try to go down there please, if you could do that, because it just adds with everything going on. We don't need any people getting too close together. We just let the officials take care of it, and we thank you for that. So we continue once that left. That same storm that Mayor Jack Tibbs is assessing is this one right here. It's north of US Highway 82 and going towards State Route Georgia 1 in a 27. It's all merged into one. So that's Martha Berry Highway here, we call it, coming towards Benevolence. So if you are in the neighborhoods between here, and I guess that's better. Yeah, the radar shows it better. You're right, Cody. Just get on the radar for a second. Ball Road, all the way down to areas around Pumpkin Creek Road. It continues to drift towards this area here. These are the areas we need to watch very closely as it continues to drift towards the north and east. So Pumpkin Creek Road, seeking shelter immediately. County Road 116, this is not Harris County, this is farther south. We're talking about areas around north of Randolph County here, North Randolph County, Springville area, the northeast part of the county as it moves back into areas, we'll get outside of areas around Henry. But we are going to watch Webster County coming up, southern portions of Webster County with this. I think it's worth noting. It's getting very broad, the circulation. It's still got a gate-to-gate view to it. However, it's certainly, as it elongates and broadens, not saying it's a good thing, but it's better than what it was when it was tightly wound. And it could be the sails that's on there. Fort Rucker radar, I believe we're on Fort Rucker radar.
Yes, Fort Rucker.
And that was what Cody was saying. I was waiting for that to move, and it finally is. So that latest scan did slow down a little bit. It's north, just northeast of Springville, headed towards the Ball Road neighborhood. Let's get right into that neighborhood, Cody, right here. And it'll be just to the southwest of County Road 116. And let's just show you what we got here. Let's hit some of those neighborhoods and just hold it steady. So Ball Road, Pumpkin Creek Road. Ball Road continues all the way down there, as you can see. Wade Road, I would definitely do it. There's a little appendage down this way. I don't know if we could see that neighborhood there. County Road 106, that's a good one there. Definitely seek shelter.
That one's not showing up.
Yeah, it's just that some of them don't show up. If you guys are wondering, there just might be new roads that were added, new neighborhoods. But you know these areas here, folks. Ball Road, County Road 28, Old Lumpkin Road, that's been there quite a while. Very, a lot of houses on here. Please seek shelter immediately before it gets to US 27 here, or Martha B. Highway Road here.
Martha Berry.
Berry, thank you. I'll get it out. We got the debris signature. Still showing up just north of Springville, headed towards Ball Road. And again, where the circulation is, that debris field is still in that vicinity. Very dangerous, because there could be tree limbs, 2x4s, shingles, rooftops, very easily with these kind of winds that were associated with this. These winds at once were estimated about 100 miles an hour, been about 80, and it dropped down to 60 to 70. But they are very tightly wound, and it could certainly do a lot of damage. So there was at one point, this was a pretty strong tornado where, of course, the mayor of Eufaula reported south of the Alabama Country Club that many homes that have certainly been confirmed down there, 12 I think we last heard, that were damaged, and some minor injuries to go with that. So you know that the system definitely was a tornado at one point, pretty strong. Whether or not it lifts up, lifts back, it hits the surface again, becomes a tornado. So again, if you're in the Martha Berry Highway area, 27, County Road 116, seek shelter. Ball Road area, it's moving fast towards you. The Pumpkin Creek Road, you should all on that road be seeking shelter all the way to 27 and all the way up to County Road 116. Benevolence, I would be starting your plan now. Benevolence, Georgia, seek shelter right now immediately. The Wades area, I would go ahead, the Wades neighborhood area, Wades Road and County Road 106 to the south. That's almost literally parallel to US 27, and we want everyone to be certainly in their safe spots there as well.
I think we just got a new tornado warning in. Quitman, Randolph, and Terrell till 145.
Okay, so it's moving that.
Confirmed tornado located 7 miles northwest of Cuthbert, moving east at 40.
Okay, so as we said before, Cuthbert, it's just to the north of you guys, and you can see it right here. It's right here where I'm pointing, right here, and there's Cuthbert. So it's still very close, but if you're in the Cuthbert area, even north, just stay inside, stay indoors. And again, Benevolence, and as Cody pointed out, the counties have moved it farther east in Terrell County, out of the news reviewing area, but not obviously areas once you get into western Georgia. So you want to keep that in mind. It hasn't yet been issued in Webster County, but there's still a good chance it could be. But we want to keep Webster County on alert right now. You're on alert. You're not under warning. On alert. Just keep alert and have your plan and start thinking about it. Because areas around Benevolence, if it makes that same trajectory from Benevolence, it's likely going to come very close or south of Weston, Georgia. And it's a heavily populated area there. So we watch this in these areas here. There's Cuthbert. You're not in the warning, but even though you're looking at how close it is to you, it is very close. So watch those areas north. It gets populated here at the 4-lane on 27 before you come into southern Randolph County. And then once you get in those areas, there's still a lot of little businesses on the road. We got some neighborhoods through here. So let's talk about it. Okay, of course, it's right where Martha Berry Highway continues. It's all pretty busy right through there. But when you get just south of this, that's when we start seeing more neighborhoods, especially Wades Road northward into Benevolence, Georgia. So it continues on that same track right now. So Springvale, you are clear because you heard it for the last half hour. Springvale, you're clear, but it's not so clear as it continues to move east, and you can see it here. How are we doing in Columbus, Georgia? How with that storm? I haven't heard much more in Fort Benning.
I was just looking at it. It shows some brief rotation over Fort Benning.
Yeah, and this is, we got to keep an eye on that. So if you're in Casita, Georgia, not Casita, Alabama, Casita, Georgia, on State Route 137, on post, 27 off post, and it goes back to where the 258 areas are, some of the training areas. This could be a potential, at least maybe a weak tornado, but definitely some damaging wind associated with it. We call it, this is around the Columbus-Casita Road area, where you get down in these areas here, which you get down into Sand Hill. So guys down in this area, men and women, if you know this area here, you may be hearing some of the sirens going off, possibly from the severe thunderstorm warning, but keep in mind that has a potential. So if you're in Casita, when you get just off post and on post, there's the potential of seeing some damaging winds with this.
We just got a tornado warning.
Okay, now it's a tornado warning. There you go, for that reason. So that's why I wanted to go back. This is looking a little bit broad, but it's tightening up definitely. And let's give a little track on that, Cody, too. We'll give, because we got a lot of population here. I'll let you finesse that there. By the way, doing a great job. Cody's mall area, we call it, as it leaves post, crosses 27, back on post momentarily, and gets into the Glen Alta area, Buena Vista. I want you to guys keep that in mind. Marion County, you could be coming up next. So just keep that in mind. From areas around here, we need to keep up. Chattahoochee and Marion counties are in this line with this potential tornado. Not confirmed, but it's been certainly doing what it's been doing, just like Barbour County, starting to wind up a little bit here. Still got some strong winds that are exiting in South Columbus here. We'll keep an eye on that, just some gusty winds. That's about what we're seeing. And this south in Chattahoochee County is where we're seeing it outside of Muskogee. So Muskogee, even though the polygon may just trip it, if you hear anything in East Columbus, it's not a tornado warning in Columbus, okay? Just so everyone knows. Not a tornado warning in Columbus, Georgia. You are clear. Uptown, downtown Columbus, clear. And all across Lee County, Russell counties are looking clear right now. Waverly Hall, southeast parts of Harris County, just some heavy rain and wind, in Talbot County as well. How close this warm front became getting into the Columbus, Georgia area. It came very, very close. So Butler, you're in there too. Taylor County, Ellaville eventually. We'll watch Sly County. Sly County, you're just on alert, putting you on alert. And we're going to be watching down near Webster County right now too. And we're talking about Randolph County, south of all this, where we have one simultaneous. We may, two things, Cody, and if we could go back, I know you're looking at some stuff there, and I apologize. But if you can, and social distancing is very, very interesting. It's very hard to work like this. But if you can go a little tighter here.
Okay.
And let's just see what we have here. And let's go to the velocity, and let's get right in here, because this is very, very populated here. So the Buckeye Road area, Jamestown Road area, Columbus, Casita Road, coming off post. It's still on Fort Benning, but the Babbitt Road area, Hourglass Road, and Lafayette Road, all these areas here, once you get into Chattahoochee County, eastern part of the county, northeast, certainly needs to be hunkered down. A lot of neighborhoods here. Jamestown Road area, we could even click on a few more here. We get close. 8th Division Road, that's right where our interest is. 8th Division in Crossy Road, Jamestown Road. These are the ones that are on post still. At Fort Benning, off post we go. past First Division. You were just to the north of this on First Division. So think of that as First Division, where Marne exit is, First Division south of the PX here. In these areas, that's all just coming to the south of PX, coming into Sand Hill on the 258 areas. So Pine Tree Road, Hourglass Road, these are the areas you got to seek shelter. But right now, the last scan is not looking terribly impressive, but I need you to all to take this seriously in Chattahoochee County. We can go live right now a little bit farther south on 431, US 431, and right in Eufaula where we have damage. This is close to the Country Club, Alabama. Kevin, I don't know if he can't hear me. Okay, I'll let him talk. Is he telling us what's going on? You want to let him know? Oh, he can't. Okay. So our chief photographer is right down here. It's just a traffic jam going towards this neighborhood. And what this is likely, and this is not just people rubbernecking, this is obviously debris on the road. I would put, obviously that's what it is. I'm sure there's a lot of down power lines, at least a few miles from this point that our photographer's at. The Country Club down here actually received almost 12 homes that were damaged. The mayor has confirmed that, and we're looking at some minor injuries down there. We do not need anyone to investigate. This puts our first responders in harm's way because of COVID-19, and it puts you in harm's way from down power lines. If any of these are ever hot wires, generally they shut off. That's SOP, standard operating procedure on these things, but it's not always a guarantee. So please do not get electrocuted. Don't get near trees, nails. There's a lot of debris here because that was a debris ball that crossed 431. So I can only imagine this traffic is going to hardly move until they get it clear. The road's got to be coated with debris, and that's exactly what you're seeing now, looking southbound from Eufaula towards the Country Club, which received a lot of damage to south of there. So there's probably, I bet you that's at least a several mile backup where our chief photographer is. And we'll bring you live pictures and updates as we move along and move forward as we go along here. The tornado is starting to look like it's starting to get tight again here from 8th Division Road, the Columbus-Casita Road. It's still on post. 1st Division Road near the PX is clear if you're in that area. If you're in the 258 area, Sand Hill, this potentially could be right over Sand Hill right now. If anything, damaging wind potential, but there could be a possibility of a weak tornado here. Headed off post and get back on areas of these are the Armor Division areas that do munition testing, and then getting back into some of these neighborhoods of Chatco and those residents that are on post as well. So there's a lot going on here coming right along 27. And again, if you're in Casita, this should just pass to your north, but it's very, very close. So all neighborhoods north of Casita, south of Hourglass Road, you need to seek shelter immediately when it returns back in these neighborhoods. It leaves the main post here and goes back off to the east part of 27 and leaving the Sand Hill area right now. So 127 had some operations here as well. If you're the 127 area, a lot of military folks watching. 129, I should say, not 127. I'm sorry, I'm looking at Highway 27. 129, excuse me, moving off post there as well. So keep that in mind. So these areas are on 1st Division, Marne Road, all east. You guys are clear right now. So again, this is what we're watching there. We could get farther south now and show where this is actually going here. We're still watching this potential tornado crossing 27, headed towards Benevolence now. So Cody, we'll get very close to Benevolence. Let's zoom in on those neighborhoods and let the folks know what we need to show them. Again, if you're in Benevolence, every neighborhood in Benevolence, seek shelter immediately. That would include the whole Pumpkin Creek Road that obviously intersects where the tornado is likely now, just to the east of 27. County Road 116 that connects to that. The debris signature continues.
It's more so lofted in the atmosphere.
Yeah, it's all in the atmosphere, but this debris will settle at some point, folks. So that just shows you the power of these good cumulonimbus clouds. And what happens is these strong storms, and not necessarily this is a supercell type variety, but they get caught up in the upper air draft. It'll be uplifted and pushed right up, and sometimes it could go miles away up through the anvil, and it could fall down. So no one should be outside right now in these areas, please, until everything is clear. This is not a day that somebody gets injured and we have to use a first responder to help you because you were doing something. And I don't mean to preach to you and lecture, but I think you all know what I'm talking about. This is not the time to do your own investigation and curiosity because you're home and you're antsy, and I get it. If you do that and put yourself in harm's way, you're putting our first responders in harm's way. Please, please use that kind of respect for our first responders right now. Okay, so we look at that coming in. We got reporters on the scene coming down here in Barbour County, still investigating that. But Cuthbert, you're clear. But north of that, headed into Webster County and moving towards Benevolence out of areas around Randolph County. And we're going to watch this. And what we're saying about areas around areas early around Webster County, let's just show you what we're talking about. The Richland area, it's just coming in here to Quitman and Randolph now. So it kind of took Weston out of it. So if you're in Weston, it's coming real close to the county line. So I still want Weston just to be alert. If you know where the Parrott area is, and we do have viewers in Parrott. I've talked to them before, even though it's out of our
There's
our
new tornado warning. Stewart, Sumter, Webster.
Stewart and Sumter, as we said. So that's what I said earlier. Stay alert, Sumter County. Even though it looked like it wasn't going that way, it's still, that whole complex is moving that way. So they would take it to as far east as Leslie, okay, all the way up to Americus. That would include Plains, the Botsford area, Smithville, and southern Sumter. I mentioned Plains, Georgia, but let's back up a bit and give a little mention here from Parrott and southeast Webster. If you're in areas around Weston, you're okay. Richland, you're okay right now. This is all to your south. Those are the areas that we got to keep an eye out for, as you can see. And it will continue on this track north and east. Brooksville area, it's already past you. It's coming along State Route 41 in Georgia. This is Georgia State Route 41, and it's moving rapidly towards the north and east. And again, Cuthbert, you are clear from the tornado threat. Just want to let you know if you're in Cuthbert. Lumpkin, Stewart County, you are clear right now. Richland, you're clear. Preston, you are clear, but just stay with us for some strong winds. But Preston should be fine. Weston, I would not. Even though it's to your north, to your south, pardon me, Weston, your north, we need to keep an eye out for that. Southeast Webster County, however, you're not clear. And we're going to continue to watch that in the Plains, being the northern part of this, in south, as we continue that all the way through Americus, in between and south. Now, it looks like Sly County, we're going to be watching those counties farther north from what's coming out of Chattahoochee County, because with this, we're going to watch Taylor County as well eventually, in northern part of Sly County. So Sly County 240, I'm talking about Georgia 240. If you're in Sly County there to Rupert, Georgia, once you get into the areas of Taylor and Butler, that would be the far end. Just keep in mind. Geneva, okay. Geneva, okay. You're out of the panhandle of Muskogee County, we're good. Muskogee County is clear. Chattahoochee County, we're still watching the circulation exit, and it is all northeast right now at 27, according to our radar imagery. Velocity scans are not coming in, but the radar shows us, with just a minor delay here, 10 seconds, is lifting northeast out of Chatco, and that's north of Casita. So Casita, State Route 55, 2 thumbs up, 27, Martha Berry Highway, we're good.
All right, we're starting to get some damage reports on the Georgia side from that Eufaula storm. It's in Quitman County, don't have an exact location. Okay. A tree on a house with a possible injury. That is coming from the National Weather Service, so that's what they've gathered.
Can you repeat it again, because I didn't catch it?
Quitman County, tree on a house, okay. Possible injuries.
Okay, see, this is what we worry about, Cody. As you said, any kind of wind. Doesn't have to be a tornado to make it valid. Severe thunderstorm winds do the same, and that equipment was likely, that probably was the tornado, but until we get the assessment. But definitely south parts of 431, the Alabama Country Club, Mayor's
Country Club of Alabama.
The Country Club of Alabama. I got to say this, I got to stamp it on my forehead right about now. Country Club of Alabama seen the most damage right now that we had reported. And Mayor Tibbs is down there with first responders, and they're assessing it. We have a reporter en route. Okay, so that is out of that area. So Barbour County, you are clear, just so you know. So we're looking north, just the extreme northeast portion of Chattahoochee County, out of Benevolence now. Benevolence, you're clear. It's continuing to move towards 41 right now. So if you're in Benevolence, it's already past you. It's County Highway 180. You can see 186 here, down near Wilson Road. Right between there, headed towards Brooksville. County Road 103 that runs to Brooksville, right along State Road 41. Seek shelter immediately. Venny Mill Road, or it should be Venable Mill Road, Venny Mill Road, seek shelter immediately. Coming all the way back up to Payne Pond Road. Once we get in areas of southern Webster County, Hall Road, the Leverett's area, Chambliss name, big family name there, Chambliss area, obviously the farms, a lot of agriculture there. Please seek shelter immediately. That takes you just to the east of County Road 12. So these are the neighborhoods that need to seek shelter immediately as it continues on this track with some strong damaging winds and potential cycling tornado. It's lifting, it's dropping, it's lifting, keeps doing
I have a better location for that.
Okay.
One injury, tree down on a house along Highway 82 in Quitman County, and they say possible tornado. It will likely be a tornado once they...
So US 82
in Quitman County.
US 82 in Quitman County that extends into Barbour County. That was the tornado that came through, repeat, Alabama, the Alabama Country Club.
Country Club of Alabama.
Country Club of Alabama. Just Country Club comes first. Country Club of Alabama. I don't want to offend anybody out there for the right name for that. So from there, and as it moves eastward, it's likely that was from the same tornado.
And they're still saying a confirmed tornado.
Yes.
With this.
Okay, still confirmed tornado. We're having problems with scans, but that doesn't mean that it's not there because there's different technology that's being exercised right now, and we can monitor the wind field with it at least, so we got an idea where this is located.
We're getting in a radar gap.
Yeah, that's the problem. You got Peachtree, you got Fort Rucker to the south, moving towards areas around Warner Robins. Should be picking up here if you go right. I know it's hard to get street level in Warner Robins at the same time without. It might be a little bit better. We'll see. County Road 139. So the Brooksville area, you're almost clear. It's coming along. This is coming along State Route 41, State Route 520 south of Weston. You need to seek shelter. The Weston area here, it's not heavily populated, you guys, but even south of there, I still seek shelter. Just take shelter as it continues southeast of this, and then we're going to watch as it gets into Sumter County, Georgia. And so those are the ones we want to watch out. So Terrell County will be in there momentarily, just clipping northern Terrell County, but it'll leave Terrell County and get back into areas on Webster and Sumter. That's where it's going to end up. It's just going to clip, Terrell County just for a short time here as it continues right through. And it looks like it's getting close to that now, which would just be where probably north of Parrott. So the Parrott area, I would still seek shelter. East Central Point Road, Chambliss, as I said. These neighborhoods in north, quite a few folks in Center Point. Definitely seek shelter. You feel that wind gust. If you're in Center Point now, you may hear it. There's a good outflow wind coming. And again, coming outside of Weston on that line, but farther south is where we're looking at. So this could continue on this track here. And Cody could take it even at the bottom if you want to do that. You could see it better than me, and then take it up. This is a potential track, so you're on alert now in these far-reaching areas. Weston, you still look clear, but it's south of you. So the Payne Pond Road area, Georgia State 520, Georgia State 55, Chambliss City or just town area, the Macedonia Church Road area, east and south of Center Point, Rural Hill Church Road, Kirksey Road. You know the farms and agriculture on there. There's a lot of little neighborhoods in there. We need those to be on point there to take alert precautions, get in your safe spot, know where that would be. We're still seeing it on this next scan. It's more reliability as this area is moving towards Warner Robins. Well, actually, that one was for Rucker. But anyway, but you can still see it as it continues to lift north and east.
We're not getting a good scan at a Warner Robins.
And they may not even be. I don't even know.
That's Warner Robins.
Yeah, that's why. Okay, we will not use Warner Robins. That's good. So anyway, so there you go. So that's where we have it. So if we go, just a quick, let's give everyone a story of what's going on, who's clear, who's not, and how we're doing farther south. And again, we'll get back to radar. We still are watching areas of southern Webster, northern Randolph County for this tornado warning. Still stay alert. If you're in Plains, you're alert. And just to Americus, you're alert right now, okay? If we're outside of Chatco, I'm surprised it should be just exiting Chattahoochee County now into Marion County. Let's just see how we are. So we could let people know in Buena Vista. So Buena Vista, you're clear. So I know a lot of folks at Buena Vista are like, what's going on? There's nothing going on. But if you're north on Georgia State Route 355, there's a lot of strong winds, and we're losing circulation, but we're not being complacent. These scans are not coming in as good as we'd like, so we're going to rely on level 2 radar. This is level 2, obviously.
Correct.
Yeah, you can see it, yeah. So we'll rely on level 2 radar for now. And by way of this, you can see it as it lifts up near 41. These are the neighborhoods you got to watch out for. And this is north of Buena Vista. This is extreme north, northeast Marion County, okay? That's where Georgia 240 comes in. That's Dr. Brooks Road comes all the way down here. Brantley Road. There's Brantley, Parker's Mill Road. We're looking at Buffalo Road down through here. We're looking at Pine Knot Road. And we're looking at Grace Lane, these neighborhoods. Those happen to be, I just mentioned, west of 41, State Route 41. East of 41, we got Fuller Road, Spring Hill Road, and we're looking at all these neighborhoods from Whispering Pines, these new developments here. Keep that in mind. There's certainly a potential of damaging wind or a tornado. You can see the cluster of showers here. Dark color reds indicate very heavy precip. We don't see what we see the traditional tornado vortex signature, but we're watching for some more reliable scans coming here shortly, which I don't know. That might have been, that might have been Warner Robins scanner. Yeah.
This is Peachtree.
Peachtree going north, okay. Peachtree might be our best bet, but not the one I would want to choose. So it looks like down here is where we're still trying to get some of that, but it's very fragmented. So again, yeah, when you widen out, sometimes you kind of see your circulation better. It's just kind of northwest of Buena Vista. So it's right here. We want to be street level, but we got to get out sometimes for the viewers so you guys know, so we know where we're looking. So let's go right about here, the trajectory, and let's, yeah, you got it right there, Cody, looks good. And we'll take it from this neighborhood. So if you're in this neighborhood here, let me see who that is there. County Road 74 in Brantley, you should seek shelter immediately. County Road 82, Mitchell Lane, this is potentially right on top of you right now. If you're in the Mitchell Lane neighborhood, the Pond Road neighborhood, if this is tornado, Brantley Road, but that's a little bit north of where 355 intersects with 137, then you guys are seeing us moving fast to your east. Hummingbird Trail. These neighborhoods that intersect, they come real close to Georgia 352, Parker's Mill Road, County Road 74, all the way to Eddy Ridge Road, which would be your farthest south point, is lifting north and east to Fuller Road, which will take it even farther off towards the north and east. So Georgia Highway 355, just to the west end, south of Buena Vista Road. Now this is not Buena Vista, not going north now. This is not up Muskogee or Chattahoochee County. This is going farther south now as you get out of Chattahoochee, lifting north and east. So Chattahoochee County, the post looks good. Fort Benning, right now, I'm just curious to hear if Fort Benning had any damage or not with that, because they really seem, to me, the more volatility with that. South of Richland, Stewart County, we said Webster County, Center Point, Botsford should be seeking shelter. East Center Point Road, Chambliss, where Georgia State 520 continues to move north and east towards Plains. Cody, tell us what else you're seeing over on this side.
Well, something I've noticed, we're not seeing a whole lot of rotation anymore with this southern extent of this storm that is moving through parts of Randolph County, northern Terrell right now, but we still have that tornado warning for parts of Webster County and also parts of Sumter County until 2:15 for the potential of tornadic activity as this continues to push through. This is the same system or the same storm that we had the damage at the Country Club of Alabama south of Eufaula. So this is that same storm that produced that damage and also possibly some damage across Quitman County where we had that report of one injury with the tree on a home there. And radar, not really impressive with this. I'm pretty sure it's starting to losing some of its momentum as it's continuing to push east here, especially with the northern extent of this line. We still have a lot of energy, a lot of thunderstorm activity down across parts of southwest Georgia. You can see areas just south of the News 3 viewing area around Fort Gaines, Blakely, and then stretching back into areas south of Dothan. That's where we have a lot of volatility in the atmosphere right now. And some good news, we don't seem like we have the rotational couplet up across parts of northern Randolph County, northern Terrell County, that is moving into parts of Webster, but there still is that tornado warning. So still take it serious. We could still have a spin up come out of this storm just because of we're kind of in a radar gap where we're very high in the atmosphere, so we're getting the lowest levels of it very high in the atmosphere with that radar beam coming from Fort Rucker, also from the Warner Robins Air Force Base located in central Georgia. So we're getting a gap of that. We're not getting the greatest scans of the surface. That's why it looks a little a little jagged here on radar, and also on the velocity. Really not seeing a whole lot of anything on the velocity scan with our storm rotation. But again, Stewart, Sumter, Webster, tornado warning 2:15, so we still have, let's see, 35 minutes on this warning before it starts to move out into parts of central Georgia. We also have a new severe thunderstorm warning just downstream of this, probably including this storm just near the Leslie community, Leslie, Cobb, DeSoto, all of these communities right here. This is more than likely what this severe thunderstorm warning is. Chris, Dooley, Houston, Sumter, and a lot more counties in central Georgia. But right now, Leslie, one thunder or lightning strike, so a lot of probably just a rumbles of thunder here and there with that one. We also have the tornado warning continuing for really just Marion County right now, north of Buena Vista, south of the Highway 80 corridor as you turn off to go south into Buena Vista. So really between Buena Vista and the Marion County, Talbot County line, right, just south of Highway 80 is where we have the greatest concern. Although good news with this one, we haven't seen a tight couplet that we've seen with some other storms earlier this afternoon and also earlier this morning out across Alabama. So good news, maybe we're losing some of this energy, but still a lot of storm activity just south of the News 3 viewing area, and this will continue to move out of the News 3 viewing area over the next hour. Yeah, that's some great news. So it's not going to be as long duration to the 4 o'clock. So these tornado watches have been expiring as they go along. You'll see one after another start to fall. You can see the big picture where we're clear. And we have it in gray here. So here's a tornado watch.
Yeah, there's your tornado watch now. And clearly from Muskogee County could technically be out of it right now. Pardon me. And same with Stewart and some of these counties. But they go in order. So they're going to, as they race through, they'll just start to see them disappear. But the tornado warning that continues, as we said, leaving in Chattahoochee County, you're clear now. If you're on post, Fort Benning, you are clear. So that's some good news for Fort Benning. Northern Marion County is what we're still watching. And then we're going to watch areas around outside of just extreme areas of Taylor. And then eventually we're going to see how that disconnects there. But if you're in Sly County, Ellaville, for example, along Georgia Highway 19, we're good. You guys are good up that far north. But farther south, you can see where most of this energy lies. So Ellaville, you're kind of clear right now. Your energy's to your north. America's to the south. In Sumter County, we're still watching that because that energy, as you can see, it excelled ahead of it. That's where your heavy precip is, as at least south of Smithville, Georgia, and it's moving out that way. So where Cody just said that polygon lifted north and east around Lilly and Cordele, Georgia, that's way out. It just gets out of Sumter County. That's what we're thinking some of that line is excelling. That's that little thunderstorm, discrete thunderstorm, which Cody said you got to watch those. When they're discrete like that, they can sometimes become supercell, and they could be very, very dangerous. I mean, they could produce a tornado, and they are moving along. But right now, we're not seeing anything on that would have us terribly concerned. So that's some good news. Although this is what some of our models were kind of advertising even yesterday. It's amazing how technology does surprise us here as we start to put into use. But we look south of Richland, Randolph County, Cuthbert, Parrott, Dawson. Cuthbert, you're clear. Richland, you're clear. Casita, you're clear. This is Chatco. We're talking about here Stewart County, clear. Muskogee, clear. Harris is clear. We're looking at Talbot County, you're clear. And all points across east central Alabama, clear, but not clear for our folks farther south of Eufaula, of the Alabama Country Club of Alabama. I'm going to get it right, and I'm not making light of this. I'm just saying the Country Club of Alabama, where seriously there's a lot of damage down there. And we've been asking folks on 431 where the damage crossed. There's a tornado there, you could see. And as it came across into areas around Quitman County and Clay counties, we don't even have the other one on here, too, to see the damage. But the previous tornado report from 5 South Eufaula Country Club, photos of tornado crossing the Highway 431 collected with a TDS, which is a tornado debris signature. We had significant damage reported at the Country Club of Alabama golf course, and Mayor Tibbs is down there with first responders, and they'll always ask, they always tell us, and you need to call us, they always ask, please, Bob, all first responders, do not go out and try to be your own investigator. Oh, I have business down there. I got a friend. No, stay put. You're putting people at risk. We need all the energy on this so these people can get back in order here. There's been some reports, which is not on here, of some minor injuries, but again, we're still looking at that. And those are reports that kind of,
I think it's right here.
Coming in. Let me see. You may have a better update there.
It's on the screen.
Okay. Tree fell down on a house. This is Quitman County. Okay. As it moved out Eufaula and moved into Quitman County, this is the tree down a house along Highway 82. That runs, obviously, US 82, comes right through there, like a west to east trajectory there. And one person was injured, and this is possible tornado. we of course, we know it was a tornado. But right now they don't do that until it's investigated. They could lift up and north, could still have strong winds. Winds will knock trees down very easily with these kind of systems that we see. South of this area, you can see all the multiple tree reports that are down. The wind damage reports, Cody enhances it a bit for us. North of Noonan had tremendous amount of damage before about 11 o'clock Eastern time this morning. And that was the northern part of it. You could see in between, although we did, and we will see reports. I'm curious to see what Post will bring. The Department of Defense, and they have their folks who will investigate that. Sometimes they'll let the Weather Service come in there and look, but it'll be interesting to see what happened on Post, if anything at all. But that looked pretty impressive around Chattahoochee County on the Fort Benning areas. But again, as that moves out, you're going to see everything expire. But clearly, today, which is remarkable, the warm area that we learned was where that tornado came in, and even though it wasn't so warm north, the strong force of that area low pressure as it lifted north created a lot of shear. And you hear us say that when you look at the velocity scans, which we can go back to now as we look at the one farther south coming into, hopefully it's weakening. I hope I don't have anything to show. I'd rather not. But yeah, it's not too impressive here. But we'll be watching this area here. Yeah, let me look here to see if I can find this, and we're going to go to Americas in just a moment. But you could see through here, somewhere in here, still strong winds, but we're not seeing anything that's reliable on that,
I think it's weakened.
Data. It's almost like obliterated, but that's great news. So we don't want you to be complacent. Let this tornado warning polygon expire. Now, to me, this one still has life to it, and we're talking about just north of Buena Vista. Let's get a little closer to that, Cody. We could go ahead and do a track on that. And this is northern Marion County. We talked about the Brantley area. I know you guys, we said to take shelter. Remember, Fuller Road takes shelter. Harbook Pond Road takes shelter. Brady Road takes shelter right now, which continues all the way back up along 127. Johnson Cemetery Road, Bethlehem Road. We're looking at Grier Lane, and these neighborhoods are on 240. County Road 5, they would be north and south in between. Fort Perry Road to the north. These neighborhoods here, Pole Mill Road, and we're looking at areas around County Road 104. We're looking at all these areas around Mock, Georgia. Our Skywatcher Buffalo Simon is in this area here, and I know Buffalo Simon, I'll check to see how Buffalo's doing in a minute. We may want to check in with Buffalo in just a bit and see when it gets closer. Hopefully it won't affect Buffalo, but this is going south of Mock. We're thinking once we get into Taylor County. So right now, the Taylor County is not being affected, but we're looking at more Marion County. The Tazewell area is okay that we see, but I would still seek shelter in Tazewell, especially north of that, because this is still a wide area and there's still some debris.
Our warning, Stewart, Sumter, and Webster canceled.
Canceled, right. Okay, good. So Marion is it. We're watching. And Marion would then, if we follow suit with this, if we take the trajectory, this would take us into Taylor County potentially. And as it passes Taylor, then it's pretty much out of the news reviewing area, and Macon, Georgia television stations will pick up on that. But you could see here, as it lifts north and east around Charing, 137, this is Georgia, 137, and you can see it up to 96. And everyone knows that 96 route, you get on to 75, you're headed to Florida south or to Savannah, you cut across down there. Through that area there, we're looking at certainly the potential outside of Rupert, we're seeing some of that. So that energy there. So, you know, Fort Valley and all that would be a little bit farther out, Fort Valley State, but we're still a ways away. But this, again, we're looking at this, it's been holding up, and this particular storm is not related to the one that was down in Eufaula. So let's take you down to Eufaula now live and see what's going on down there now. We don't have Eufaula live, and sorry about that, but we'll come back to that. Yeah, we got Americus live. That's it. Let's go to Americus, and I apologize. Let's get to Americus, Georgia, where the thunderstorms are pretty heavy right now. So here's the Straits of America. The winds are picking up, and the severe weather. Certainly, you guys in Americus are seeing the strong winds right now. See the heavy rain, but we've seen worse than this, so that's some good news. So as we take you live to Americus, certainly not much going on right now. And again, just some strong winds as the bulk of that moisture is south and east of Americus, Georgia. We just saw that live shot. Plains, same thing. You guys are going to be okay. That's all moving east of you to Leslie, as we said earlier. And again, this is out. This is expired. That's good for our extreme southeast portion of the news reviewing area. So we'll give you guys a little break here. The Barbour County, there's still going to be some assessments along the way. And I say this for all the counties that were impacted. If there's any wind damage, please call local authorities. They'll get to it. If you're live streaming with us or at Q1073 and you hear us, please just use just common sense. I know you're all smart. It's just you get excited and we're stir crazy and we want to get out there. I know that feeling, trust me. And we don't want you to put our first responders in harm's way. They're overloaded. They're overloaded. So we just need to really think of that for our own good. And again, thank you for letting me keep preaching that. But if we look southeast of here, that at least is clearing. It's just some heavy rain. And then that, my friends, will be it for those guys here. So we'll take you back up to Marion County where we're looking at. Even though Benevolence, you guys are still under severe thunderstorm warning, that's all east of you right now. I just want to let you know. So it looks like it's not your. It looks like it would be a TVS, but it bears watching the level 2 radar. Certainly some gusty winds with this. I'm sure Rupert, you could see maybe some strong gusty winds. So we'll keep that in mind. We said Mock, Georgia. I think Mock is going to be okay as it continues to ride in this area. But Butler, we get in there. We'll keep an eye on this. May just stay to the south of Butler too. It looks like it probably will. And again, not even affecting, Sly County. It's just going to hit the panhandle of Sly County here. But if it does continue, the warning could just pop here real quick. But it's very doubtful. But again, we're looking at areas around Charing, Rupert, Butler, Reynolds, and Zenith. And you can see by that time it's already 2:24 in the afternoon. It's out of the viewing area completely. So this was really just, frankly, just about got really heated about noon and right to about 2. So the last few hours here. And this is the kind of systems we like to see in and out, but we don't like to see the damage. And it was unfortunately that parts of the Alabama Country Club received in those homes down there some significant damage. It appears, or at least 12 areas damaged with, we know winds potentially could have been up to 100, but we don't know what the surface was, and certainly that was pretty strong indeed. So as this shall expire, lifting out of areas around Marion County, it looks as if it will just kind of come into Taylor. We'll see if we get a severe thunderstorm warning in this area, and if that's the case, it'll probably just be for Taylor County. And if you're in Butler watching, Junction City and Geneva, you guys are clear. I just want to let you know. So if you're that far east of areas around the Eupatoy area, way east of that in Harris County, you guys are good. Talbot County, you're good. That's what Talbotton residents want to hear. But for Taylor County, I would still keep this in mind. South of 208, going into central Georgia, you know where I'm talking about, where 96 intersects. Very busy here, lifting up to this area. And again, if anything comes through like Mock, which I don't think there will be, we can hear from our Skywatcher there as well. But I think otherwise we're doing pretty good. There's Rupert and Butler, and again, those are the areas I would keep an eye out for. This runs right along US 19 that comes outside of Sly County and working itself back into portions of Taylor. But we're still back here in Marion County where we're seeing the energy lift north and east. And you can see it's kind of elongated. This is what we like to see with scans. So, it's not really impressive, but it's probably some weak rotation. Certainly to the south of this, we're seeing outflow winds south of 127. So it's not necessarily, coming eastward, but it's kind of, the winds are excelling out. You can see southeast Cody. So it's really almost going to move that way south and east of Rupert, it looks like the winds. So that's kind of interesting on that last scan.
Yeah, just heavy rain.
Yeah, so that's what we're looking at right now. So we'll watch for this expire probably within just 7 minutes or so I'm looking at. And it still has rotation with it, but you could see the outermost all the way through Butler. This is just a long line of outflow winds with some heavy rain. That's why the reflectivity is very dark like that. Okay, farther south, we still have, again, that severe thunderstorm warning, which produced, this is the remnants of that system that brought that tornado down there outside of Eufaula, south of Eufaula. Randolph County, eastern Randolph County, of course, you still see some of the heavy rain showers, but you were out of the severe thunderstorm, so you guys are good. Sumter County, the same thing. Southeast of Americus is where the extreme southeast corner of Sumter County is what's seeing some strong winds and some very heavy rain. So we're going to clear you guys out very shortly, at the same time, hopefully, with our Marion County, which is going into Taylor. If it doesn't, we'll keep an eye on it. Taylor County, I'm not leaving you guys out. I want you to think we're watching you, but we may have some good news to report here in several minutes. We want to watch a few more scans and see what's happening. The rain is not out for the rest of today. There could be some showers lingering, just for your information, through maybe 7 o'clock tonight, 6 Central. There's still wraparound moisture, we call it. There's a lot of low clouds. And windy and colder tomorrow. I mean, in the morning, our east central Alabama counties like Alexander City, Tuskegee, westward could see some low 40s in the morning, maybe a 40 or 2. That's some cold air coming in. No frost, but mid-40s probably as far south and east Columbus, Georgia, and south and east of there. So it's going to be a chilly morning tomorrow with highs with the sunshine likely into the mid to upper 60s tomorrow. That's why it's a powerful system. That's the point I want to make. You got a lot of cold air behind this time of year, collision of air masses, and that's why this time of year is like this. Last year at this time, 1 year ago today, it was a Saturday, I believe. It was, because leap year, I got to think. I think it was a weekend. We had something similar, but it wasn't this bad. And of course, coming off of March 3rd last year, you had everybody were like, oh, what else could we have here? So we're still in the severe weather season, which will continue through the whole month of April, and we got to get through the first couple weeks of May, and hopefully that's it, and hopefully nothing when it comes to hurricane season. We kind of taper off things. But again, this is what we're looking at. We're just watching this last one here, minutes away to see it, and we're watching Taylor County right here where Butler is. You're the last one on our radar here. We're not leaving all our viewers out. We stay with you for the entire time, and we want to make sure that you guys are safe. So to reiterate again, Eufaula, south of Eufaula, the Alabama Country Club. You can show the storm tracks again. Cody will zoom in. We have some damage reported here, and we're looking at these areas here. The Alabama Country Club receiving a lot of damage reports to their 12 homes. In Quitman County, right over the border, right along US 82, there was more damage likely from that tornado continuing. We saw it as circulation and debris, but I'm sure they'll up that as a tornado with a tree that toppled on a home. And there's an injury here outside of Eufaula. That's really right over the river here. And was a tree on a house right along that same height road, that same line there with one person injured. And again, Eufaula, the tornado itself, we click on here, we have a reporter working the scene, and we'll bring you live pictures coming up. But just, again, photos of the tornado, again, have come in across 431. That's why 431 is backed up. This is hopefully just general traffic, people going to their jobs that have to go. Not people being nosy. They're asking no one to be out there. It would not be a good scene if you try to go out there and look. We'll give you all what you need coming up on News 3. There's been significant damage. Obviously, we heard reports from the mayor, Tibbs, saying it was up to 12 homes damage, possible some minor injuries as well with that. And again, that was about 11:51 Central Time when that all occurred. Cody.
They'll likely expire the tornado warning up in Marion County because they have issued a significant weather advisory downstream of that. So that is some good news, and looks like the majority of the severe weather is starting to exit the News 3 viewing area.
That's some great news. And just to let our friends know in Taylor County, zoom in on Taylor County because we want to leave you guys out. And you guys are probably consider yourself very fortunate with this. That this line, if you almost put it at an angle like this, is a lot of winds coming out, and that should come right into the Rupert area. And you may feel some of those gusts even as far south as Ellaville, Ideal, Georgia, but it's really starting to weaken. You can see it's very much an outflow boundary of wind. That's what it looks like right now in this scan. It's a pretty good scan, considering. So what we're going to do, again, we're going to keep watching this right up to 2. But before we go, let me give you a little repeat of some of this damage here. Take a look at your screen if you're listening live web streaming. And thank all those folks that were on Q1073. They'll probably sign us off here. You could see what's going on. You could see what's happening here. So we'll give you a full screen here and show you what we're talking about. Okay, so what are we seeing? Right now we're looking at this. We had 12 homes reported by the mayor and some, of course, first responders damaged right here in Eufaula. This is south of the historic area, just so you have some perspective. You know where the Walmart is, and even reports of semis that were flipped because there's so much air that got underneath that. Semis, just because you think they're heavy, are the first things to be tossed around. There was a tree on a home in Cleveland County just to the east of this from what we say the tornado with 1 injury reported. There were some minor injuries potentially reported around the Eufaula area south of the country club and 1 tree down in Troup County as well. So we have our bureaus, we have our reporters out here. Please, we ask you, please, folks, do not put yourself in harm's way. Don't get tripped up in thinking, well, let me get out there and get out and do my own assessment and give you some pictures. We will do that. That's what we're getting paid for. We have credentials to do that. You don't, and we want everyone to be safe. Please tell someone you know. You may hear them say, hey, let's go check that out. Not a good idea. If you care anything about our first responders right now with COVID-19 and this going on, do not, please, again, I can't emphasize enough, please do not go out and investigate this. Call the authorities. They'll get to it. And again, as we wrap this up right here, it looks like that has expired in just 1 minute. And it looks like Taylor County, Cody was talking about significant winds with this. And what that means is if you're in Butler, southeast Taylor County is where it's going to be. So if you put like a little trajectory here and put it southeast, it's those winds are flowing out. Their winds potentially could get up to maybe 35 to 40 with this. And that's not downplaying it. Just watch any weakened tree limbs or trees wherever you may be, because that's the type of wind that this can snap those quite easily. There's still a little good outflow wind. That's where that real bright green is. That's some wind that's flowing out of that, and it's moving towards the Warner Robins radar. So here we are, folks. We will keep you updated on News 3 as we go along. We also have reporters on all the scenes. We're going to have live reports from Troup County, Barbour County. We'll have Quitman, hopefully, and we also have Americus, Georgia. So whatever we need, we got everybody out there for you. You can catch everything at WRBL.com. You can catch everything on social media, Instagram, Twitter. Of course, we're talking about Facebook. Like us if you're there if you haven't already done so. And the First Alert Weather Team keeping you updated as well. On behalf of meteorologist Nicole Phillips, led the way this morning with meteorologist Cody Nickel and myself and Greg Majeski on Sunday. We certainly want you guys to stay connected with our apps, and you could do just that. And you can see the latest web stream if you have no power. These are a great source of receiving the latest weather updates through the live stream on our apps. That's the WRBL Radar app and the WRBL News app, and Facebook.com, WRBL3. Like us and follow us. We'll give you all you need to know. Thank goodness we didn't have any more reports or anything else. You guys have a very safe afternoon, and enjoy the programming. And we'll be back tonight coming up at 5, 4 Central.